Hello and welcome to the Video Game Dads podcast. This is episode 33, guys.
33?
Yeah.
33.
Same backwards, same forwards. You put a mirror in the middle of it.
It's palindromic.
Yeah, it is. Who here is age 33? Anybody over right at?
I'm a little over.
You are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shane, happy birthday. You got to go buy a lottery ticket or something when you do a podcast.
My birthday's
your
coming
same
up
age.
too, so this sort of worked out well.
Oh, yeah. and
Worked out swell.
34, you're going to be 34. How
Yeah.
cool is that? Well, anyway, the
Old man.
Video Game Dads podcast, we're three guys in a basement talk gaming, fatherhood, and everything in between. We are your hosts. To my left,
You got Michael?
to my straight ahead,
Adam.
to my right,
Shane.
and I'm following up in the caboose. I'm Ben.
Oh, boy.
Oh, get your mind out of the gutter. We are a family. Remember, guys, we are a family-friendly podcast, so that means no cussing, but no promises on no adult content, so you can listen while you're doing stuff in the house and bore your wife to death or bore your significant other to death and your kids maybe too. Yeah, you can find us. Where can you email us, Adam?
VideoGameDads@yahoo.com.
You can find us on Facebook.com/VideoGameDads and also the Twitter, the Instagram, and the YouTubes. So, guys, we got a pretty good episode coming up, I'd say, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good one coming up.
We will do our famous, world-renowned video game book club. We'll talk about that in a second. We're also going to talk about our upcoming video game convention that 3 out of the 4 of us will make.
Yep.
And sorry, Michael, but
That's all right.
you're doing something a little bit more important.
That's all right.
Just a little
I have a kid coming in about a month, so we'll
Creating
gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, creating a child. So the Video Game Book Club, we're going to talk about MoGameCon. We're also going to talk a little bit about E3. This is the first episode we're doing after E3, so we'll talk a little bit about it, what our thoughts were. We're not going to get too in-depth. You have enough things available to check that out. We'll also talk about some of our pickups over the course of the last couple weeks, and then our famous handheld holla.
Oh, yeah.
And our other segment we're going to throw in there are our top 5 once. We did our 5 favorite things, and that was pretty popular on our Twitter poll that we did, and our Facebook poll that we did. A lot of good turnout on that. And then this is going to be our kind of top 5 things. They could be big, they could be small, like something we would love to have in our collection. One of those, like we could trade almost anything in there to put in there. That'll be our other segment. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Anything else going on, guys? Anything big? Anything whatever? Adam talked about his huge pickup, which is...
New baby girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's she doing?
She's doing well.
Good.
She's still rocking along. One of my coworkers actually made her she knits, KNITS.
Dude, I thought you meant your kid already.
No, not the kid.
Dude,
She's only 3
put her
months
on
old.
Jimmy Kimmel or
she's
something.
she's a savant. She's a savant with a darning needle. No, but I'm actually kind of ashamed of myself that I know what a darning needle is. But no, one of my coworkers, she knits little caps and little clothes for like little babies. So she's like, "What
Yeah.
do you want for your baby?" And so I said, do you know what a Pikmin is?
Oh.
And she goes, "No, I don't know what a Pikmin is."
Yeah.
So I looked up online. I was like, "These are Pikmin. Make her a little Pikmin."
Oh.
So she knit her a Pikmin hat, a yellow
that's
Pikmin
cute.
hat, because they're
Nice.
the ones with the big ears.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ears.
And it's pretty adorable. So she's going to cosplay at our upcoming conventions as a yellow Pikmin.
Oh,
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Awesome. Anything with you, Michael?
Well, my kid actually had a pickup, but
Yeah.
what he picked up was hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Oh, my
boy.
God.
Unfortunately, yeah.
That sounds like an equestrian virus.
I know, it sounds something like an animal
Yeah.
should have.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
we're recording this just after the 4th of July, so we actually, unfortunately, didn't get to see fireworks. And now
man.
that he's like 2, you could probably a little bit understand it a little more.
But you
last
and
year.
wife, you didn't get it, right?
We did not. It's apparently pretty hard to get if you're kind of like up over 5 and like under 70, apparently. But
But if you do get it, I
But if
heard
you're-
it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah.
Probably one of our listeners will say.
yeah, he
they're
got like
getting
blisters
shakes.
and fever.
Oh,
It's
man.
got to be
Poor
really
kiddo.
rough. I definitely would not want this.
Yeah.
So I feel.
So when's it go away then? So
It can be anywhere from like 4 or 5 days to like a couple weeks.
Okay.
So
Ugh.
he's kind of at that 4 or 5 day range right now.
Okay.
So.
Well, hopefully goes
yeah,
away soon.
Yeah, and there's really nothing. There's no medicine or anything. You just kind of
yeah.
just
Have
deal
to
with it. You
deal
give him
with it.
like Tylenol and stuff
Man.
for
So-
his fevers.
So if
but-
our listeners didn't really realize, we are authentic dads based on our talk already. Between by all of us here, we've got like a combined age of like 6 or 7 kids with a combined age of like 12 or something.
yeah, it's pretty young ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15-month-old, two-year-old, 4-year-old, and the like a
3-month-old.
3-month-old.
Yeah.
And then you're the whole 5'4",
Yeah, 432. Yep.
4'3", 2.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how we're all here together. It's always like a miracle. Like I feel like lightning struck every time we're all 4 here at the same time. That's why the saying will never change because most of the time it's like 3 at best. That's why it's always going to be 3 dads in a basement. Yeah. What about you, Mr. Shane? Anything else going on?
Busy, man. As always. We bought another house to flip, so we've been working on it.
Nice.
I've been doing demo like crazy on it.
You've been sending the pictures. You're the man's man of the 4 of us.
It's a very lovely home. Well, it's going to be when we're done with it, but right now, it's a mess.
You're putting in work.
Yeah, putting in major work. But keeping up with the kids. We got rescans for Lexi coming up Thursday, so a week from now. So we're gonna see what's all going on with her. So hopefully, some good news.
Oh yeah,
more good news. Yeah,
I bet it will be, but I'm not gonna tell you that you're probably not sweating some bullets here. But she looks great. Looking at all the pictures
she's
and everything.
super healthy right now. Sort of an update on her. She's put back on weight. She's got so much energy.
Hair's growing back.
Hair's growing back.
Yeah.
She was actually my wife sent me a video of her, and she was in the mirror, sort of like combing her hair over. Her hair is just really short, but it's just long enough where she can like just sort of move it a little bit. So she was in the mirror like playing with her hair.
Well, and she's got kind of the good look now because like nowadays everybody's kind of got the short look
hair
going, and she could now like if she wanted to do the whole side whatever.
Yeah, rock it. Yeah,
whatever. What's her name? The ScarJo thing.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it, man. Just keeping up with the kids and
Sweet.
What about you?
Oh, nothing. I mean, let's see. Wifey's going out of town here tomorrow. She's going to a bachelorette party, so I got the kid again. I know she's going to Nashville, so and I've got the kiddo the whole time by myself. But I've already set up some time. I was going to Target, going to visit a couple friends, that kind of thing.
Bath and Body Works, isn't enough time for that?
Bath and Body Works. What's that about?
You don't remember?
No,
what is that? What's that movie? Olive Garden, Bath and Body Works. I don't know if there's enough time. Will Ferrell movie.
Oh no! He actually says maybe the Home Depot.
Yeah, maybe the Home
Depot.
Depot.
Yeah, because he was talking to college kids and the college kids about what they're doing. He's like, "What are you gonna do?" I don't know. It kind of depends on if we have enough time. And evidently, he ad-libbed that whole line.
Was that old school?
That was a great
school.
line. Yeah, old school. That's what it was. Old school.
Old School's a great flick, man.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
I just saw that Jurassic World. I really liked it. I'm seeing it again with a buddy of mine this Wednesday. Shout out Dennis. We're gonna go see that. Last time I set up a mandate with like watching a movie with a buddy. Totally forgot till he like showed up because my brain's so into kids and stuff. And he like shows up to the front door, and I didn't even get it till I opened the door. First I'm like, "Oh, Dennis is here. That's fun. What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, we have to get to a movie in like 20 minutes." Yeah. This is what happens. What are we doing? A podcast right now?
Are we?
Where are we right now? I don't know where we're
doing.
I think we should just get on with it, shouldn't we, guys? Let's start out with our video game book club.
This is the Micro Machine Man presenting the most midget miniature motorcade of Micro Machines. Each one has dramatic details, terrific trims, stupendous styling, precision paint jobs, working wheels, Micro Machine cars of vast variety, including Lamborghini, Trans Am, Corvette, 4x4, Blazer, pickup Charger, and many more. Micro Machine planes, polished, perfect precision, like F-15, Corsair, Space Shuttle, P-51, Mustang. Micro Machine boasts a fabulous fleet of tugs, PTs, and speedboats. Talk about small. Micro Machines are less gargantuan than a grip. Our first midget is a marvel and smaller than a silver dollar.
Hey, Dad!
You want to get more Micro Machines to add to our collection?
Yeah!
A miniature midget colossal collection of Micro Machines. Collect them, trade them, race them. The Micro Machines set sold separately from Galoob. They're really small.
All right, and our video game book club is brought to you by Micro Machines, huh?
That was a quick
Micro
laugh.
Machines.
Yeah, by the famous John Machetta Jr. May he rest in peace. Is he alive? I don't know.
I don't know.
What else did he do?
Talked himself to death.
I mean, he
Yeah, he forgot to breathe for. He forgot to breathe for a solid 5 minutes.
Was that his
Didn't make
highlight?
it.
Is that his highlights? The Micro Machines.
His obituary is just one long ink blot, like. I was here. I lived it. He probably could put his whole life in there.
Yeah.
I was when I woke up and he's yeah. He's pretty awesome. If you guys want to see a really cool video, check out like. Just put in YouTube Michael Jackson and John Machetta, and then he sings
did
the
that,
entirety of "Beat It" in like 18 seconds. The entire song, he just speaks it. And I think he just said he could do it in school. It's one of those things where he just like kept working and practicing.
Doing it.
Do you think he
Selling it,
got
doing it.
ladies by doing that?
No.
Yeah, there is zero panties have dropped.
Yeah.
Those things got pulled up even more.
Think about all the connotation. It's like he's not talking, he's not spending the time, he's talking the whole time, and he's quick at something. Women don't like any of that. But you know what? He's the most real, right? Yeah, that would be about right.
He's like, but I have a great personality.
Yeah. But the cool thing is, if the date sucked, he could just fast forward right through it.
Jam right through it.
Yeah, see you later. Thanks. You got the check? Good. Great. Yeah. But anyway, Micro Machines, I also had a ton of those as a kid. I love those things.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have too many of them, man.
I didn't have any because it was sort of like I never thought Matchbox cars were too big.
Oh.
Yeah.
No,
You know,
I agree.
Like these Matchbox cars, these are too big. I need something smaller.
I liked it. They went crazy. They even had Micro Machines that you can open, and there would be a smaller one inside it. I was a Micro Machine guy. I was a big Micro Machine guy. I like that. Well, anyway, thanks for our sponsor, Micro Machines. This is our video game book club. For those new to the podcast, basically the video game book club, we pick a game. Dads pick a game, and also our listeners can pick a game. And we generally don't want this in the top 15% of whatever game library we're on. We choose the game, and then we play it in between our episodes and then talk about it much like a book club. We kind of stick to a console and kind of go round robin, and you guys can pick anything. Handheld, we haven't had many of those. Any system you would like from old to modern, just give us a Facebook. We're kind of saying if you want to send us messages, email's great, but we really appreciate sending us through Facebook. That kind of helps us consolidate and find things. But anyway, thank you guys for listening. That's the other thing we kind of always forget to say. We always appreciate our listeners. Every time we upload stuff and we do all this and edit and throw it up there, we really thank you guys a lot, and also the word of mouth you guys do talking about us.
In reviews.
Yeah, we appreciate all that, man. I mean, it goes a long ways. I mean, you guys are editing late at night and having to jam out episodes, and it makes it worth it when you guys tell us that we're doing a good job, or writing a review or stuff like that. So we really do appreciate that.
Yeah, we dig it, and also gives us a chance to interact. We love it. All right, so our video game book club, we are currently on the
Mighty
Dreamcast.
Magical Dreamcast.
Yeah, the Sega Dreamcast. 999999999. Never forget. Never forget.
Yeah, it turns out that it's Hitler's favorite console.
It is.
999.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry. That joke's a little dark. Our sponsor just went away.
Yeah, sorry, Micro Machines. Come back, Micro Machines.
It's like now the Micro Machines of Twitter is like apologize. Did they even make Micro Machines?
That's what I was going to ask earlier. Yeah.
The thing that I thought was the most
hazard.
interesting about that commercial is the end of it says brought to you by Galoob, and I always think of Galoob being the people that made Game Genie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
They are the same company.
They're the Game Genie makers.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, so we've already gone through our Dreamcast pick by Shane. So you picked Zombie Revenge. We talked about that last time. Anything you want to add about Zombie Revenge? It was your pick. You missed the last episode, so I didn't want to cut.
You guys sort of nailed it on the head. The only thing I'd say, I mean, if you're a Dynamite Cop fan, you're going to love this.
All right, so since Adam, this was your pick.
It was
Armada. What made you pick this one?
I am a fan of ship, like collections of ships attacking things.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you are a fan of war.
No, just the idea of
Naval battles.
Yeah, naval battles. Yeah, there you go.
Naval battles. So yeah, this is one I didn't play back in the day, but it was like almost a launch title. It was pretty early.
Yeah, it was really early, October of 1999.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, developed and
just missed
published
the window.
by Metro 3D.
Nice. What else did Metro 3D do? Do we know? I don't know.
Armada.
All right. Armada.
I'm sure they probably made something else, but yeah, Armada.
Yeah. It's funny. The old Classic Game Room actually reviewed this one back in the day, too. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's an old
Actually,
one.
I
watched a lot of them old ones, and it's funny to see that guy. He's all like chubby and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was before he got all the persona to him too.
Yeah,
But no, I just clicked on it, and they actually made quite a few games. The only ones in here I really recognize, there's Armada, of course, and then Arrow the Acrobat.
Oh, okay.
At least the Game Boy Advance versions of Arrow the Acrobat, so I know what that is.
Never mind. I know the Genesis. Yeah.
And yeah, the rest of them all look like poop.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
Zero the Kamikaze Squirrel. That's actually a decent game.
yep,
Never heard
don't
of that
know
one.
what that is. What's
Yep.
that for?
I think Super Nintendo.
Well, they did the Game Boy Advance version,
Oh,
but
okay.
I think
Gotcha.
I think it's a Genesis game and yeah, it's a Super Nintendo
Yeah.
game. It's actually pretty expensive.
Okay, so Dreamcast game. How much does this one cost?
This one here, according to PriceCharting.com, will run you $25 complete.
Nice,
Not bad.
Anyone play this one back in the day? I'm guessing
I
not,
never.
since everybody's so quiet.
It was so
far.
hard, to find Dreamcast games for me. So every
Yeah.
time I went to Best Buy, man, it was the same 10
Well, and
games.
this
I'm
one
telling
just
you.
looked so generic. I
Yeah,
think,
it does.
You know,
It does.
from the box art and all that kind of thing. It just there's nothing about it that would be like, ooh, this is different. That and at this point in time, everybody was still playing Sonic and Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So let's go around. How'd you guys like it? Who wants to go first?
I can go first, I suppose.
Okay.
I like it. Okay. I'm honestly, I was a little bit disappointed. I kind of expected a little bit more from it. I think overall, but
Yeah.
the premise is that when you start the game, it basically just throws you into the game. Like there's not really much in the way of tutorials and stuff. It just sort of starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to figure out what to do, and then you start figuring out that you can talk to these other ships that have people who are on your side or in your legion or whatever,
Yeah.
and they sort of give you advice, and they are kind of the tutorial. And then you can work between this. You can sort of change between this overall hub world, and then also the battle world. Essentially. But there's sort of a hub universe or a hub city, kind of your home station, and then you can automatically go to a screen where you're exploring and fighting and trying to complete missions and objectives and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Like how when you start out, it's not like you're some random Yahoo and a thing. It's almost like your little hub world, and everybody like has little thought bubbles that you kind of drive up next to and talk
Yeah.
to and that kind of thing before you get started.
Kind of like an early tutorial.
Yeah. It's and it's definitely like, what do you think? Like, it's hard to describe the plane. Did you already do this? It's kind of like it's not really 3D. It's not 2D. It's like at an angle, yet you can still move in a 360.
It is. It's like a weird isometric kind of thing. It's an overhead tilted view.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But where you're not at the side, but you're not at the top. You're like 45 degrees looking down at yourself.
Yeah,
If that
and
makes
then
sense.
of course you're in space. It's really the final frontier, as they say.
It is the final frontier. I'm told.
So you've got to like some of the things. You got to like space if you like this game.
You gotta like ships.
You gotta like
Yeah.
ships. You gotta like destruction, bombing into each other. You also gotta like being ganged up on. This game,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just
It
rail you with
swarms
characters.
you.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. It's
It's like an
a,
asteroids type of thing. Is they just keep coming at you, man. Like just
Yeah.
piles of people.
And to be honest,
doesn't quit.
I didn't get very far in this game. I don't know if all of a sudden you get out of space and you end up being in getting a wormhole or something like that. I will say the graphics are good for the time. The sound is good. What do you guys
I
say?
don't know. It's a generic shooter type of deal. Like I
Yeah.
said, if Asteroids would make another game, this would have been their game, I guess, if they were to move forward with an Asteroids game.
Yeah, like Asteroids.
I
with
don't
a
know.
story.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with the game is like I kept continuously thinking like, this is okay, but I would way rather play any other
X,
horizontal, vertical, just
Yeah.
regular shoot 'em up kind of game.
That's
Like
where I
rather
was.
I'd rather play Bengayo, which isn't really a straight shoot 'em up, but I'd rather play that. I would rather play Gunbird. I would rather play
Ooh,
Raiden.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
rather play. I mean, just pick a vertical or horizontal shooter.
Yeah.
On the TurboGrafx or anything else. Like I would rather play that game to scratch that itch, if that makes sense.
What do you think, Michael?
I mean, yeah, like I thought it was just okay. I did like how you kept with the weapons upgrades. That kind of kept me going.
Yeah, that was
and,
pretty cool.
And it kind of made me, I don't know, not lose interest as quick. Because sometimes you kind of maybe will get an upgrade and then get hit and just kind of lose everything, start all over again.
Yeah, it's not like, okay, so yeah, it's this weird. Again,
Kind
it's
of an RPG kind of a feel,
Yeah,
where the,
Yeah,
with the
you
upgrade
level up
systems
and
and
yeah.
There's hit points.
but it
and-
could have been like arcadey. It
yeah,
could
just
have.
like an Asteroids, because it kind
Yeah.
of feels like that
Yeah,
initially.
I don't
but
know. Like I said, I just felt like it was overthought.
Yeah, sure.
if
That's
that
a
makes
good.
sense.
That's a good way. To put
And,
it,
and
yeah.
actually a good way to think of the game, at least as far as the way it plays, because it's sort of meant to be a multiplayer experience. I think we all played
Yeah.
it single
Single.
player ish,
Yeah.
which so we didn't get that out of it. But what it reminds me of is like Gauntlet in space.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
It's
see that.
like a Gauntlet sort of game in space. but
Gauntlet. It's just like a bag of the box. It's like a gauntlet in space, and then like 5 people will tilt their heads a little bit, like, "Oh, I'll put this back on the shelf." Yeah, with
they're
that.
walking away now.
But it's very true. That's a good way of describing
I
it.
know.
But
I
it-
was looking at the back of the box and I seen 4 players. I'm like, really? 4
Exactly,
players?
but
Huh.
I think like Gauntlet.
Okay.
If you play Gauntlet by yourself, you're kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you play a 4-player, you're like,
Awesome. Yeah.
awesome. And I think that this game is that way. I think if you have, some buddies to play with,
Yeah.
nearby,
Kick it up
then I
and
think
make
it
it
would be
better.
a whole lot more fun than trying to play it single player.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Very true.
Yeah, and it's true. It's not terrible. The controls aren't bad. The graphics are good. But now, this is a 19-year-old game.
Yeah.
And there are thousands upon thousands of games to play. This is a game where, like, you've got to probably not have many Dreamcast games to make you pick this. Like, you
Yeah.
got like 7 or 8 games. And this is a good random game that's not a fighter. It's not a third-person action adventure. It's this genre that kind of started and left with it, just kind of like that space station, Silicon Valley. Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh, it tried to do something different, but it wasn't. It was back before, like, Grand Theft Auto, when they're still trying to find out, like, what's the next new game. So it's different for sure, but yeah, like, what other game could it, like, how would they make this into a PS4 game?
I don't know. It
They
really
would.
would be Grand Theft Auto in space. I think if it was
Yeah.
if it was still around.
Yeah. The writing's not bad, right?
No, I mean it's kind of cheesy, tongue in cheek, sort of, 90s action ish. Really deep voices that are overacted. That kind
Yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah. We don't know what that's about.
Punchlines and whatnot.
Yeah, but again, the sound effects are good. I did play this on, not SCART. What am I trying to say? What's the thing? VGA?
VGA.
Looked pretty dang good in VGA.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I played it on RF. It was not looking good. I'm kidding. I didn't play it on
RF.
RF. Yeah.
played it through the antenna. Played it in black and white.
I played it on an Etch a Sketch.
It was amazing.
That's the VMU for you. So what kind of, I already asked this, you said it's like a $10, $15 game.
Yeah, 25.
25,
maybe.
yeah.
That much? Okay,
Yeah.
I must have missed that. Boy, yeah. It used to be a 10 or 15. You can tell when I was like collecting Dreamcasts
Yeah.
back in the day. So that's kind of what it always went for.
Yeah, $10 would be about what. I mean, not a bad game for $10,
Yeah.
but you start kicking up over that.
There's a few random games like this, like Red Dog, Armada. There's a couple others that I can't think of where it's just kind of, there's these kind of, it's a 3D game for sure. It's taking advantage of like 3D technology, and it's not, at least after an arcade game where the game's over, like Dynamite Cop.
Yeah.
So it's a sustainable game.
Yeah.
You'll get your money's worth. But
Yeah.
this day and age, one you'd play again. Anybody?
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bad comparison, perhaps, but I got a lot of the same feel of this game as playing Vigilante 8 on the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Like, it kind of has similar graphics. It's got about similar depth. It's not bad. It's just kind of there.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's the store brand cereal.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have it on your, you can have it.
It's the Equate brand of.
Yeah. It's good enough for your guests, but not like, your own family.
Yeah, this is the stuff you put in the guest bath.
Yeah. Does this cereal need a box? No. Let's put it in a bag and put it really low to the ground where all the bugs lay and stuff like that. That's
Yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't dog on it because there actually are a lot of Dreamcast aficionados that love this game.
yeah. No, well, if they're listening to this podcast, they're not that snooty where they're turning it off, turning
Yeah,
the
exactly,
channel.
yeah.
Does anybody think I just got the visualization I did with my hand. When you think turning the channel, you could tell I still grew up on that old
yeah.
TV. I just
Yeah.
clicked
Click
my
it off.
hand because you use big knobs on your TVs, like click, click,
Yeah.
click, click.
You ain't doing
Now,
that nowadays.
my entire purpose for existence for the first about 12 years of my life was walking back and forth to the television to turn between the 3 channels.
Oh,
that
yeah.
we had.
And then doing you gave that story back in episode 4 of your the antenna. Like
Yeah.
holding the antenna.
Yeah, it was a 3-person job. So we had the TV. You would open up the door or the window on the side of the house. One of my
That's
brothers
great.
would have to stand just outside that window, and then I would have to stand on the opposite corner of the house.
Yeah.
And my dad would go, "Turn it to the left." And then he would go, "Turn it to the left," and then I'd turn it to the left. Too far, too far, too far. And so it was this telephone game of trying to get the best reception. And like every time a storm cloud blew over or whatever, you had to do that. And then sometimes the antenna wasn't working well enough. You could actually get a little bit better reception by going rabbit ears. And when we would hand build rabbit ears with tinfoil.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
had the rabbit ears, but then we would make these tinfoil apparati
see-
up around the top of it.
That's
And
I always wondered if that worked.
it does. Well, at least it did in my
Oh,
place.
yeah.
And it keeps the government from reading your mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Double duty.
You don't need anything. I've said before, all you need is, I remember, you just need a paper clip. You shove it in the antenna thing. Back when I
Yep.
guess you could use the antenna, you just need any kind of metal back there. That's why if your hand touches the top of the TV and all of a sudden it works, it's like it's kind of using you.
Yeah, no,
you,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I remember doing that. Like you were watching a show and you were getting really bad reception. You grab the end of the rabbit ear,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the picture would improve, and you would sit there and watch stupid like Lone Ranger or something while you're holding on
Yeah.
to one end of the rabbit ear.
You know what I'm just remembering? God, this is why it's great to talk about nostalgia stuff. This is also a dumb thing I did, so this will make listeners think like I'm the stupid one or whatever, right? If we're a boy band. Oh, I just remember. If we were a boy band, no one would buy tickets for us. Why did I mention that?
We're roughly the same age that the Backstreet Boys were.
Yeah. We're all like, which one's the fat one? All of us.
Every single one.
Which one's the one with the bad attitude?
Yeah.
All of
All
us.
Yeah, we're the best of both. Which one has a baby face? None of us anymore. Yeah. But anyway,
We're
I would
old kids on the block.
I would take my so I remembered like I could change it, and I would I remember I somehow realized like my fillings, I would put my mouth up to it, and I would put like my filling next to the rabbit ear, and it would
rabbit ear. Ear muffet.
Yeah.
it would effing hurt like crazy, and it would like send a shock through my. But I was such a weird kid where I was just like, oh, that felt like super weird. Let me do it again.
Do it again. Do it again. Yeah.
Evolution was trying to take me away. It just didn't work. But anyway, what I was saying is like, that was team building, Adam, what you did with your family.
was, yeah. That's
and it
what kept
wasn't
us together.
everybody looking at a phone screen or something.
Right.
Right? You guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. And
Pulled together and got that
If there was an
looking
important
right.
like a playoff game, NFL playoff game or something on, it was like DEFCON 5. get the picture working and the game's on.
Yeah.
Like we would literally we would have to rotate somebody outside the house.
Yeah.
Just to have one.
So you
guy
could watch
out there
one half or something.
turning the antenna to try to keep the reception going.
I mean, pre-internet, we joke about it, but like really, guys, we lived in a time before the internet. And I don't know how the heck we functioned, but it also was probably better.
Yeah.
I hate to say
It
it.
probably
We don't need to
was,
be
actually,
that close
yeah.
to each other and know everything. Yeah, it's way
Yeah,
better.
like I felt like I had better attention span.
Well, but even the internet, the original internet,
Alta
you
Vista.
But no, it built an attention span because it took you 5 solid minutes just to log on.
Yep.
And we
Scroll down the page.
My first,
Yeah.
we were actually early quote unquote internet adopters, even though we lived out in the sticks. We had a 2.4K modem, and you would have to dial. You would have to have the phone number of the computer that you were dialing to, like the
Yeah.
It's
server.
like pre-Prodigy or something.
Yeah, and so you would dial in, and the internet back then, it wasn't like web pages, it was message boards and stuff. It was
Yeah.
postings, it was message boards, it was individual sites, but you had to have the phone number of the computer that had the site or
yeah.
the program or whatever. So we had like a local sales server or whatever, and you would have to boop boop boop, literally punch in the phone number of the Craigslist or whatever, and to go see what was on sale, locally or whatever. And then you had to have another number to like check the local newspaper, et cetera, et cetera. It was super weird.
Well, I remember news stories saying, in the future, we're going to buy our things on the internet. And my brain was just like, how the heck can you do that? Where you look at a picture or something, you don't know if it's real. It's just, even the concept of it was so, that whole thing about like seeing something on the horizon that doesn't make sense, so your body your mind can't compute it. Like, even when Amazon started, I was like, that's going to fail.
Oh, I did too. I thought the same thing.
Yeah. And
Books. I mean, come on.
yeah. Well, eBay started with
Multi-billion
just books,
book
right,
company,
or, something.
yeah.
or Beanie Babies, right? eBay started just because these ladies wanted to trade Beanie Babies to each other, right? That was
oh,
the
really?
original
Is that one of the
idea.
reasons I started? Really?
Yeah, that was the idea of it from the
Gotcha.
get-go. So it was all those crazy collectors. So we can't talk too much crap on crazy collections because
Yeah.
they started it for everybody. But anyway, going back about 28,000 paces back to we're a Video Game Dad's podcast, and not complaining about these crazy kids in your interwebs. You can find us on the internet, Google, or anywhere else. By the way, anything else about Armada? I think Armada.
I
is
don't
dead.
think so. Yeah.
Armada is dead. Isn't
dead
it
to
also
us.
an expensive like clothing or something like that? Armani. That's
Armani.
right.
Yeah, that's Armani.
So anyway, thanks Adam for that one.
You're welcome.
Let's go on. Let's go on to our let's go on to our listener pick, which I think our listener did a pretty dang good job. That was Shadow Dancer.
Yes.
Sega Genesis.
Yeah, the Sega Jenny. That is, and it's also what's the other subtitle? Return of Shinobi, right?
Secret of Shinobi.
Shadow Dancer, Secret of Shinobi.
This is the second one in the series, correct?
Yes, it is. It is. What do you think about this one, Adam?
I thought it was good. So this is a game I really want to like.
Yeah.
I really want to like it.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say about it. I really want to like it.
Okay.
It's good, but it is.
I know where you're going.
You will hate yourself. It is so hard.
So-
Like, it's completely unforgiving. It's punishing. Like I personally just found it frustrating.
Yeah.
Because it's a game that looks like it would be fun and it's not.
Yeah. So it's a 2D ninja game, right? Yeah. And we've already played Shinobi 3, right? But the difference between that and Shinobi 3 is this one, the reason why it drives you crazy is the one-hit kill.
It is. It's just
One
instant.
hit kills
It's instant death, and it almost seems random sometimes. And the crazy thing is, I actually really like Shinobi 1, and I really like Shinobi 3. And Shinobi 3 is one of my favorite Genesis games. I think just in general. But yeah, this game is it is unforgiving. I'll just put it that way. But that being said, it's a well designed, good game. It's
Yeah, it
just
looks
gotta
good.
you gotta have a little hate for yourself if you're gonna play it.
Do we know who published this sucker?
It was developed and published both by Sega.
Okay. And one thing, isn't this the first time that Doggy was in there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Or at least tailing with you the whole time, at least.
Yeah, and you
for
can
sure.
you can sick them on some people. The whole one-hit kill thing, I don't know. Again, it's kind of authentic. If you're a ninja and you get spotted, you're kind of done. That's the
Yeah.
whole point of being a ninja, right?
Yeah.
Even if you get spotted,
You're supposed to sneak up behind him.
Follow
Yeah,
and
but
assassin,
the sprite's really big, and he's not. My issue with I think Shinobi 1 and Shinobi 2 really is he's not very nimble. Like he's kind of
Yeah.
He's stiff. That's what I was saying on the third one. He's super stiff.
He's kind
man.
of robotic, and he doesn't really. It's not like Ninja Gaiden,
Almost
where-
like Rolling
Yeah.
Thunder. He's just so dang
Yeah.
stiff. It's like, do some yoga, buddy. Like,
Yeah,
let's get
yeah.
it together.
I mean, like Ninja Gaiden, your guy like kind of leans forward, he runs, and he looks sort of dynamic, and
Yeah.
like you know.
Yeah.
And Shinobi just looks like. He looks like the karate instructor in Napoleon Dynamite, like
Rex Kwon Do?
like he just doesn't move right.
Yeah, I hear you. I almost think if they were going for ninjas are Asia. Asia is like anime traditionally, and if you was watch anime, there's a lot of like the character holds still and everything around it moves. I don't know if that's the look they were going for because it was obviously a choice. They could make the dang sprite.
Well, that's what I mean. I think he's meant
just
to be
wonder
sort of
why.
stoic. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
like a rock wall. Like he's the muscling, like tough ninja. He's not the I hide in the shadows and I use. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he's
yeah.
not that ninja. He's
He's
the
almost like a
tough-
grunt ninja where he's just beating the crap.
yeah.
out of
He's like the
people.
protein
Yeah.
shake ninja. You know?
yeah.
Just throws ninja stars all over.
Yeah, he's the ninja in all the movies that like knocks your lunch out of your hand. Pick it up. Or Doyle rules. Or whatever that would be. Shankan rules or whatever. Yeah. It's so okay, good. What about you, Michael? Any kind of tidbits about
no,
Mr.
I mean,
Shadow Dancer?
Like the one hit is annoying,
Yeah.
in my opinion, and there's a lot of games like that, like Metal Storm and just tons of other, even Castlevanias are kind of annoying sometimes. Actually, not
Castlevania
that.
is super annoying.
sometimes, but
I love it, but man,
like the knockback, it's just kind of that whenever you get hit, some games are just kind of annoying like that. But I did like even the graphics, like when you use the dog,
Yeah.
the attack, it felt like real.
Yeah, that felt
and-
satisfying when that
Yeah.
happened.
yeah, no, you feel like a badass. while you're
Yeah,
playing
and
it,
throwing the
but-
ninja stars. If they didn't have those ninja stars in it, like if you had to run up and attack people like
Knife
you do
them,
in
yep.
Ninja Gaiden with the sword or whatever, it'd be much more difficult.
Oh yeah, and we didn't talk about that. The you can kind of choose long range and short range in the
Yes.
options.
Yeah, which helps it, I think.
And yeah, sometimes sometimes the punch is a little bit better. Oh, the music. I thought the music was pretty good.
Good music. Yeah, good music.
What'd you guys think? Yeah,
Yeah.
here and there, take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's,
No, it's
I
good.
don't know. I
I
thought
like
it
it.
was okay. It was very Genesis.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got that Genesis twang
got the
to
twang,
it.
the twang,
yeah,
twang,
that
kinda
you know
stuff.
Genesis music when you hear it, and
Yeah.
this is one that definitely does that.
I just love like a rock soundtrack. Genesis does so good. Like when it gets real rockin',
Yeah.
it's just
bass.
so
They do it
in
well,
your
yeah.
face.
Yeah, and I shouldn't talk, or I actually like the Genesis twang. You know, I sort of it's just the way
It's
that
just certain
system sounds.
things, yeah.
But it's sort of funny because you have games that sound like this, then you have games that sound like Streets of Rage 2.
Yeah.
And it's just
Da-da-da-da-da.
yeah, it's just weird that it's the same system, same processor making the same sorts of sounds. But if you just hear the soundtrack for this game, you're gonna know it's a Genesis game.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. How much does this game cost? Anybody?
I want to say
let's
like
see.
10 loose, maybe 15
Yeah, it's-
loose. I want to say.
What's it box?
It's
I was
it's
wondering.
11 according to price charting, $11 loose. It's $38 boxed and,
Not
and
bad.
complete.
Okay. Yeah. And it's I don't know. It's got a few different levels in it. It's kind of it doesn't use a ton of the verticality. The graphics on like Shinobi 3, I think, are just so much better.
Oh,
We
they're
kind of
way
already
better.
talked
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that. It just the whole pushing the hardware. It was probably pretty late in the third one was.
Yeah, Shinobi 3 is one of the best.
This one was
looking
still
Genesis
sort of
games.
early, being the second one. This one's still
Yeah.
early, I think.
It
It's,
was.
a,
pretty
it's
sure.
a 1990 release.
Yeah, that's
It is
early, correct?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah,
yeah,
it is.
yeah. That'd
It
be
is.
early. Yeah,
And also like I will say
graphics look good. I don't know.
we're not going to do a Genesis versus Super Nintendo thing, even though that's great and their whole generation thrived on that. I feel like Genesis comparing the two, Genesis late game games, the difference in the look from the arc of early games to late games so much more distinct than say Super Nintendo, because like Super Nintendo had great games kind of looking throughout the whole thing, and also Nintendo published it. But like if you think about looking at like Shinobi 3 versus Altered Beast or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
even though I loved Altered Beast, but like you look at some of the simple, or even Ristar or Ristar,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it,
Vector Man.
Yeah,
Vector
Yeah.
Man. But yeah, I mean, Ristar is like an amazing looking game. If you really look and see like everything else going on screen, it was a super late game. But like compared to what the early stuff was on the Genesis, it
Yeah.
really came a long way.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
you're
dude,
right.
I actually think of the earlier Genesis games just sort of looking like.
Kind of clunky.
Well, they were basically Sega Master games,
Yeah.
sort of, or just a step up from Sega Master. But then
Yeah.
they just sort of gradually kept improving, through the entire. I mean, at least graphics wise. I mean, there still are a lot of good, early Genesis games, but a lot of the better games that came out were sequels to the originals or things that came out late in the system. But by the end, they were doing things on the system you didn't think it could do, for sure.
Yeah, great game. I think this is one, if you find it cheap, definitely pick it up.
Definitely.
Definitely pick it
too
up. Yeah,
expensive.
it's a good pickup if you can find it for
Yeah.
a good price.
Yeah, great listener pick. Glad we got to play it. God, we've been going through the whole Shinobis. We might
Yeah.
as well do the first one.
Might as well
and-
do the first one in that sucker out.
or do like a Shinobi episode. We still, in the future, I mean, in episode 33, we have enough like topics we thought of it. Eventually, I think we would like to do like episodes dedicated to certain
to a certain game or something.
'cause we haven't even done that.
Yeah.
We can dive pretty
Or like
deep.
a series, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So I think why don't we get to the back of the box here? I can do Shadow Dance unless you got the other one ready, Adam. What would you like to do?
I've got Armada here.
Okay, go for it. The back of the box, so we could see if this kind of sells the game back in the day, pre-internet.
Sure. So here's the back of Armada. Do you have what it takes to defeat the alien Armada? Play simultaneously with up to 4 of your friends to blast the alien hordes in this action RPG world. Use the VMU to store information about your newly acquired technology and skills. Invite your friends to bring their ships to come fight in your game.
Bring
or
your
just, or just bring your ships.
Bring your shit. Sorry, go ahead.
Or just to trade items that you have found. And then here's the bullet points. Bullet point 1, travel to alien worlds and solve the mystery of the Armada. Bullet point 2, wage war against a vast army of over 100 unique aliens.
Nice.
Bullet point 3, grow in power forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
Yeah,
Forever.
never ending.
Still growing.
As you fight an enemy that evolves in response to your actions. That's it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know. That sold it well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a game more for like a 26-year-old than a teenager back in the day. That's
unless you have 4 buddies and you're like, it's 4-player, let's give it a go.
Yeah, early on, if you look, all right, so Shadow Dancer, the back of the box. Shinobi, Joe Musashi, after defeating the Neo-Z crime syndicate, took a much-needed rest. Now he has a new cause. Revenge! Exclamation point. Union Lizard, an organization bent on world domination, made the mistake of murdering Mushami's good friend, Kato, in New York. Guide Mushami and his faithful hound through the Big Apple, and that's like, is Big Apple supposed to be capitalized? It is here, so just so you know what the heck we're talking about, and help him settle the score. So, revenge tale, trying to get you into it. Like, this kind of read like the back of a book narrative more than anything. So it's kind of
super
cool.
unique plot line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like every Van Damme
Sounds
movie
like, I was going to say
ever.
every Steven Seagal, Van Damme.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's like, hey, you just did this. Now you took a rest.
Or the
Now there's
bulletin
a new
points on
cause.
here: kick, punch, ninja shurikens to your face. What
You
they
totally
got?
it's all in the mind. That's where I wanted to go with that. But anyway, so Shadow Dancer, Armada, that's kind of where we are with that. All right, so now let's get to our picks for episode 34. Should we do the dad pick or the listener pick? Doom, 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 to doom, doom.
Let's do dad pick.
Yeah, dad pick.
Dad pick.
So we've already had 2 of our Dreamcast guys. We've had Shane, we've had Adam. Now we're up to Mr. Michael for the Dreamcast. The old Sega Dreamcast from 9999.
Yeah.
I've been delaying enough for you to make sure to say this title correctly. You did.
I didn't want to mess it up.
No, you didn't own a Dreamcast, but
That's true.
in your defense, just a game that interests you that we could tell you is in the top 15% or not, that we can all play and all the listeners could play. Michael, what did you pick?
I went with a fighter called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah. So this is a 2D quasi-polygonal fighter that's got some Japanese-ness to it.
That's right.
Just a little bit.
Just a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I mean, there you go right there. You know that title is super stupid.
Yeah, I think it's actually like an anime series. Over
It is.
there.
It is,
Or
yeah.
manga or
Okay.
whatever.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it
Yeah,
for
and
PS3.
there is a PS3 version you can download on PS3 or PS4. Just
All-Star
FYI.
Battle, and it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, it's good. I think it was on PS Plus or something a while back.
Yeah.
I know I've got it.
And this game is good. I'm excited to play it. I haven't played it in a while. It's got a lot of style.
I think I have it,
Yeah, I'm
so I
excited.
think
It's
I could
tons
pop
of
it
style. It's one of those games where it's like style. Everything about the game is style.
Yeah, I'd say you wouldn't say
Nice.
style over substance, but anyway, we could talk about it at our next pick. That will be our video game dad's pick, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for the Dreamcast. Pick it up; it's only $2 or $3. Just kidding, it's like $80. Sorry, but that's complete. Otherwise, you can play it.
Like I said, the
50
downloads
was-
are pretty cheap. I mean, I
Yes.
think you can download it for like $10 or something.
Yeah.
It's not much.
Highly recommend, and it was a great arcade. So that will be our video game dad's pick. Let's move on to our listener pick. Wait, do we have any to throw in the pool? I kind of think, I'm not sure. Do we? Let's see real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I didn't find any. We had a few emails and stuff, but no other picks, right? Yeah.
I think that's right.
All right,
Yeah, I think
perfect.
we're good.
Yeah, if I'm missing one, email us back.
All right. We still have plenty in our pool, and if you would like to not pee in our pool, just send us a pick to our facebook.com/videogamedads for your video game book club suggested pick. And a little spiel. We always have to remember a little spiel of why you picked it.
Yeah. Speaking of pee and pools.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just reminded me of something. Shane's
Can't wait. Sounds great.
Shane's daughter and my son are doing swimming lessons together right now.
Yeah.
And they go to this training, swimming teaching place.
Yeah.
And you go and they have this pool, and the thing is like 15 feet wide and it's like about 40 feet long. And then they have it sectioned off in like 5-foot increments the whole way down.
Okay.
And then each one of these little sections has 2 or 3 little kids learning how to swim.
Okay.
Inside of it. And they break
Gotcha.
them up by age and size and so on and so forth. And then there are 5 or 6 instructors in the pool at any given time, and there's roughly 30 kids in this pool at any given time.
Okay.
All
A
day
lot
long.
of children, yeah.
All day long.
That sounds awesome.
It's roughly 98.7% piss.
I'm sure.
Like there are way too many kids in that pool, and every
You
time we go there,
know.
I'm like, this place is like it makes me cringe when I walk into the place. And what makes me cringe more than anything else is thinking about the workers who are in there with all of those children all day long, just getting peed on.
Just, that chlorine.
Nobody goes to the bathroom.
That chlorine,
In the
man.
bathroom.
That,
Yeah, that place, that place would be so hyperchlorinated. You know, if I had to be in that water, but it's not. It doesn't really smell that strong because you can't burn babies with chlorine.
Put your head underwater, blow some
say.
bubbles at them. Blow some
I'm dead
bubbles.
serious.
And like, what
Every
if we're
time
doing?
we go there, I'm like, are we abusing our child by putting him in this pool with all these other
No,
children?
no, it's fine. He's got to have a little pee on him. So what's funny is I can imagine like, oh, it's Parent Day. We get in there and Adam's like, I don't want to do it. I
I
don't
don't
do
even
it.
like going to our neighborhood pool because there's a whole lot
there's
of kids
a few
there.
kids, yeah.
I never see the children go to the restroom.
He's gonna do that thing where he puts the water in his mouth and spits it out like a fountain and spits in your
man.
face at him, and then you're gonna throw up.
At any rate, on to listener picks.
Yeah. All right. So our listener pick. Let's put in the randomizer.
Beep, boop, boop, beep, boop. Legendary Wings.
Whoa.
on
the
NES.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's from a
NES.
long
Little
time
It
shooter.
ago.
is from a long time ago. This is one of our very first listener
Is this the one that
emails.
looks like an angel? He's like
Yep.
he's got
Yeah.
wings on his
Wings.
back.
Yeah, it
and-
looks like
shooter.
Icarus.
This
the
is-
guy that's-
yeah.
yeah, it's a Capcom game. It's early NES.
Was this early
Or
in
an
it?
old-
Okay.
I think it's
Yep.
early, but yeah, it's an old Capcom.
I remember
game,
seeing
NES
this when
game.
I was a kid, renting wise. Yeah, I always passed on it though because it looks sort of generic, but it would be cool to play.
Yeah.
actually sit down and play it.
Well, sorry, listener, whoever did. This was before we kind of kept. It was a long time ago. So if you still listen to us, whoever picked that, or if you know who we did, go tell him. Tell him the video. He's
Spread the word.
I know he's probably sitting under a tree and his beard is all long and he's emaciated, waiting for us to pick his dang game.
Dang video
It's
game
been in there a
dads.
long time.
Today's
so.
the day.
He's like waking up and he's so excited. He's running up and down the street. Just kidding. I don't know where the heck I'm going with this. So yeah, thank you for that pick. So we have Legendary Wings for the NES and Michael's pick, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for our video game book club. All right, so quickly for our next segment, let's talk about a little MoGameCon.
MoGameCon.
All right, so we're doing 2 conventions this year. One is in St. Louis, one is in Portland. Let's just mainly talk about the one in St. Louis. It's coming up, guys. Please, if you are within the area, come check us out. It is August
to it.
4th.
Even if you're not in the
St.
area, come
Louis.
check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
Saturday.
Yeah, and it's only Saturday, so it's kind of great. There's still going to be some activities on Friday and Sunday, and you could kind of make a weekend out of it. It'd be great. Then you could talk the wife into going, because then you could be like, Sunday we could do whatever the heck you want. Saturday I'm going to spend all day with a bunch of grown men buying toys and stuff I don't need and watching the famous people from the YouTubes and that kind of thing. There's going to be a great guest list coming up. Quickly though, if you want to get tickets, if you use the code RIGGS, you get a discount. So if you buy your tickets online, use
RIGGS.
Yes, RIGGS. That's after Mr. John Riggs. He told me to remind you to put that in there. Oh, and also a random other shout out. Quickly talking about Portland, our friend of the show, Married Guy Gamer, has offered part of his table. He always has a table at Portland to sell some video game dads podcast T-shirts. So if you're gonna go out to
Nice.
T-shirt time.
Portland, yeah, thank you so much, TJ, for offering to do that. We're gonna totally take you up on that and fill up our Southwest area. Oh, and I'm so happy. I'm like, Shane, everything's booked. I'm so happy. Like St. Louis is booked.
Yep, they're there.
Portland is booked. The plane, everything. Actually, the only thing left to buy is actually the Portland actual tickets.
The tickets to the con, yeah.
The actual tickets to the con, but that's like only $30 or
Yeah,
something. It's
not
crazy
worried
for the
about
whole
that.
weekend. So, anyway, thank you for that. But MoGameCon, did you guys kind of look to see who all is going to be there?
All the Metal Jesus folks
Yeah,
are going to be there,
Yep.
including Metal Jesus this year.
Yeah, Metal Jesus will be there.
I'm jealous of you guys.
Reggie.
will be there. Yeah.
I'm assuming Kelsey and
Yep, Kelsey. Uh-huh.
and John I know is going to be there.
I feel like the other Kinsey.
Kinsey, yeah. Kinsey, I think, is going to be there. Correct.
Or that's what I meant to say. It was Kinsey. Sorry.
Kelsey
Kinsey.
and Kinsey. Yep.
She
Yep.
likes the beers. I have to tell her to drink some Tank 7. I need to tell her that.
Oh,
And she could actually drink it this time because we met her in Portland, 2 years ago?
Uh-huh,
2,
2
3
years
years
ago.
I told her to drink a Tank 7. She's probably like, yeah, sure, I can't get that up here. Thanks, guy.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
So now she'd actually drink that awesome, greatest beer ever. Yeah, I said it.
No,
You'll have to bring some for her.
Yeah, I should.
I love Tank 7. I did. My brother was in town
How'd
last
he
week.
like it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he love it?
Yeah, we brought him to the Boulevard. So also there's like Tech Nine's a kind of famous Kansas City rapper. He's got a new Boulevard beer, which is actually pretty good. It's kind of a girl beer.
Yeah.
It's kind of a girl beer, but it's good. But Tank 7 was great. And I actually tried a bunch of beers I hadn't had before, and you know what? Yeah, Tank 7's great.
Yeah.
And also that percentage is great too.
Yeah.
What's the percentage of that sucker? Like,
Right under 10, I think.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
under
it's up
10.
there.
Strong.
yeah, you just need 2 of those.
That ain't varying. It's a strong 9 point something. It's kicking the butt.
2 of those and you're smiling for the rest of the
yeah.
night. But anyway, MoGameCon, there's some other guys that are going to be there. If you guys know Mortal Kombat, right?
Yep. Mr.
Mortal Kombat.
So
I
the,
couldn't do that.
Techno remix.
so originally in the original game, redundancy. The sprites, the guys who played actually Kano, all the ninjas, Johnny Cage, they're going to be there. Also on the side of the like actual cabinet art. If you remember, that was like Johnny Cage. The actual guy is going to be there, so probably signing autographs. I'm totally excited about that.
Yeah, that's
I'm going to
cool.
bring some
That's
Mortal
super
Kombat
cool.
stuff for him to sign, and I already got a T-shirt that's really dumb and stupid. I got from Woot.com. If you want to be my twin, it basically, if I can describe it, did you see that one, Michael?
No, I was just looking. I saw you looking over there.
Yeah, it's basically it shows like a Mortal Kombat screen, and it has Sub-Zero and Raiden sitting at a dinner table, and it's called Hospitality.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love dad jokes.
I think
for the
that was
win.
that was the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo version had hospitalities.
Yeah, if you guys remember, no blood. I'm gonna pull out a gray heart. It's still gonna be beating, but no blood coming out of it.
Yeah. The Genesis kids made fun of the hospitalities.
Yeah, I mean, I would too. Or friendship. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do remember the
friendship.
friendships.
Or babality, where you got to be like
Babe
tiny
Yeah, you
babies.
turn them into little babies.
Awful. Yeah.
Yeah,
I had
got-
Genesis. I never knew.
Oh, okay. It got crazy. So that's going into 2 and 3. But anyway, that's really cool. They're going to be there. The guy that, like I said, the guy that played Kano, and then basically they just redid all the. I think the guy that did Kano also did all the ninjas, or the Johnny Cage did all
Vice
the ninjas.
versa. Yeah.
It's vice
I can't
versa.
remember. Yeah, I think so. But don't quote me on that.
Well, we're going to find out. We don't want to.
Yeah.
Like look stupid in front of these guys when we come up. We're gonna know.
You know,
they're-
I was trying to think of
film
what
logger.
piece of Mortal Kombat memorabilia I wanted to get him to sign. I think I'm actually going to take like a Sega CD version, long box, big thing.
Oh, yeah.
to get him to sign because I think it'll look cool.
Yeah, there's a bunch of posters and stuff out there. I'm sure they might have stuff too, but they still look good. Like looking at those guys, like that's the thing. Guys who do the martial arts, they're in
Staying in
shape.
Pretty good shape,
Staying in
yeah.
shape.
Because that's one of those things that's like it's exercise by default. We're always trying to be gerbils running on treadmills and stuff. But like if you're
They're doing
if you're
ninja stuff.
yeah, if
man.
you're doing ninja stuff, you can't be running around with a big keg on your
Just
belly.
imagine them like normal day life, just doing ninja stuff,
know.
like laundry. They're like,
Yeah, my wife would be a big fan of me doing ninja stuff all day. Ninja laundry, ninja dishes. Yeah,
It's like that.
throwing shirts around like shirkins.
It's like that episode of The Office after they saw those guys doing parkour.
Oh, parkour, yeah.
You guys are out there, parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Do you guys like when I saw Spider-Man in theaters and I was like 19 or 20, I don't know, or when I was watching Batman, when I would get out of the theater and I get home and I take my dog out, I would just like feel like I want to act like Batman. There's a little kid in me that wants to just like jump around and like where are the start talking like
Just beat up random people.
Yeah.
You used to start beating up random people, take
Yeah.
them out.
yeah.
Yeah, the rest of us aren't sociopaths.
Yeah, sorry. Don't you all have these urges, these like voices in your head that tell you to do
like,
things like that? I'm just kidding.
The only thing I can think of is like Ninja Warrior, like doing that, like the little like.
Yeah, I actually know some people that have done the Ninja
Really?
Warrior stuff.
I'd like to do
yeah.
that. That'd be cool.
Everybody now is all CrossFit this, CrossFit that. I've deleted a few Facebook friends just because they've gotten so obnoxious with it.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's.
I was like,
annoying.
good luck using your ligaments in 5 years.
Yeah,
That's what I
your
say
back
to
is
that.
fried. Good job.
Yeah. Well, isn't it the guy who I've said it before? The guy who's like invented CrossFit. He looks like he's a pretzel now. Like
Really?
he's all
Yeah,
like,
just
he's like, don't
no
do what
form.
I said. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those like the Atkins die. He died he's like, yeah, I've got an idea. Let's eat a pound of bacon, but you can't have an apple. Let's make a diet out of that. That's really healthy. For idiots. Anyway, I digress. Yeah. So, God, what the heck were we talking about? MoGameCon. I'm so sorry. We were talking about this thing. There's vendors. Let's see. Jake told me to say there are still some VIP passes available. They're very limited, and there's still a few tables available. So if anybody wants any of that, check them out. Yep. I think it's like MoGameCon.com, but we will be there.
For the cons, all I've been to is there has been really good deals at this con too. Like everybody's passing along deals. So if you're looking to buy
that Sharp TV, can we talk about that?
Oh my gosh, I want to kick myself right now. I want to do a ninja move to my face.
The thing about that Sharp TV, like I only wanted the remote, and I was trying to get a hold of the remote, and I had serious thoughts about buying the whole TV just for the remote.
Yeah.
Well, you could have, because didn't it go for like $180?
I think it went for like $250.
Yeah, it was more than that.
Still
a good deal, though.
If I knew about it, I would have bought it.
I'd have bought it.
I didn't find out until after it was gone.
Yeah.
But anyways, what we're getting at are deals to be had. I'm even
Yeah.
bringing some stuff that like are kind of bigger that people can, I don't know, some stuff that luckily just doing the drive to St. Louis. We'll sell a few things. We'll have a table. We're going to kind of figure out a way to hopefully do some interviews while we're there.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And maybe, I'm not sure what we'll do. Maybe if I can get a few different like 10-minute interviews, we can put each one on the end of every episode coming up. We'll kind of figure it out. But it'll be cool because then we could see these guys again. There's also a guy from St. Louis. One of the guys who's putting it on is also going to be in Portland again. Zach Maynard. Do you guys know that? Yeah. So,
Mr. Maynard.
Yeah, Maynard. He's going to be there, so that'll be kind of cool. I'm looking forward to. I'm so excited for all you guys to go to Portland too. That's going to be so much fun.
Yeah,
you two are going to go crazy up there because I'm a cheapskate, so I see some rare stuff. I mean, there was just some amazing stuff up there, and it's like, God, I'm so cheap.
I've already started selling my doubles. Just
I know.
prepare.
I've been sort of doing that too, just for actually Missouri GameCon. There's a few on my wish list. If it's there, I'm just going to buy it because I'm tired of playing this game of not getting the games that I actually want.
I've started to go to libraries and pick up books and put them back down just to get used to viewing things. I'm just kidding. I was trying to think
how you a whole nother level.
It's like we're training like we're athletes, getting ready to go to a convention. We sit around and eat convention food and pick up stuff and put it down and pick up Purell.
The next few months, it's just going to be a Rocky style montage like every morning.
I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap and go to McDonald's and come back in 2 hours and watch another convention talk. And now it's like, do you want to go see the Angry Game Nerd? No. I'm going to go back. Like, that's what you do. You basically, like, go in there and you decide what you're going to do, come back in, come back out.
They're doing panels and stuff again this year, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that'll be funny. Like, the panels in, like, I think they're doing some panels here in St. Louis, but do you mean in Portland or something?
MoGameCon.
MoGameCon, yes. I need to look up what they're going to do. We could talk about that next time.
Yeah.
We're coming up on it, guys. What are we, 3 weeks away from that?
Yep.
Yeah.
We
don't get to go to cons like everybody else. Like,
yeah,
I mean, we're very lucky to have this one going so close to us. I mean, what's the closest one? I mean, other than this one. I mean, we used to have the Oklahoma one,
Midwest Game and X,
Milwaukee one.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So.
Is it, and anybody heard anything? Is Super BitCon, is it dead, or is there something coming on?
There's some glimmers of maybe a resurgence.
Okay, boy,
as far as I understand it,
they can use that. Maybe we'll not jinx anybody. But anyway, all right. So MoGameCon, yay! Hopefully, we'll see you guys there. All right. So for our next segment, we'll keep this one kind of short. E3 happened. Do you guys know what E3? It's the electronics.
That's like a thing where they show some games or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is this?
A toy convention.
Yeah. So we're talking about this way later on purpose because we want to save or whatever. I'm just kidding. We just literally the way our show happened. Like last time we recorded. Even though it came out after
E3.
It was right in the middle actually because Microsoft did their thing.
Oh yeah,
that
that's
was
right.
it.
It was one or two people popped and said a
Microsoft
few things or something. There's some leaks or whatever, but
So and I didn't take any notes, and I'm just gonna riff off this. You guys too.
Yeah, top of the head.
Yeah, we can maybe talk about some of did you guys watch the conventions?
I watched all the big conferences.
I did too. Yeah.
I saw the Nintendo one personally.
We could go small to big. Yeah, like Nintendo was Nintendo, super small. Didn't talk about a whole lot. Super Smash Brothers.
Way too long, but they talked about it. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft I didn't really get a chance to watch it. As
I
much
actually
as,
thought everybody, every E3, everybody says, "Oh, so and so won," or "So and so didn't win," or whatever. I really thought
Nobody
all
won.
of the, I thought the big three
No.
this year, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. I was kind of underimpressed with all of them, to be honest.
it wasn't bad. It was just
They weren't
blah.
bad. There
It was
just
just
wasn't.
blah.
Well, Microsoft and Sony, basically everything I was interested in, I already knew about. So there weren't any jaw-dropping surprises.
Yeah.
And they weren't bad, but again, it wasn't like there was no big huge reveal of some game that people didn't know about.
I think Microsoft did the dirty move, and they introduced the what was it? Dang, why is my mind going blank right now? The Disney
Cyberpunk?
game. No, the Disney game. The
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
3.
Hearts. Didn't they released that before PlayStation? They sort of jumped to the mic on that really quick.
okay.
Yep. So
Yeah, but not an exclusive. Yeah, there was a lot of games they showed off.
'cause that used to be a PlayStation thing.
Yeah,
I've
they-
gotten so lost on those because there's Remix 1.2,
Well,
2,
and-
2,
yeah.
and
Kingdom
3.
Hearts,
Ugh.
I've started on several of the Kingdom Hearts games, but I've never played them more than about 2 hours each because I don't like them. I've just decided I don't like that.
I just
series,
don't
but-
get it. I just don't get like the 1.3s and the 2.2s.
It does.
and-
It gets confusing because
Very
there's
confusing.
there's 2.75 remix and
Yeah.
Yep.
365 and a third day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Naked Gun. They're just making up numbers.
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
and 7/8.
Yeah, they're making a PS4 Pro that is a Kingdom Hearts special one, and also a Spider-Man one that's a Pro.
Oh, really?
I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Cool.
Of all the games in the show, Spider-Man's the one I think I'm the most interested in actually playing.
Yeah, it's made by the infamous guy. It's looking very infamous-y.
Yeah, Sucker Punch or
yeah.
Insomniac or who does it?
Yeah, I think both or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, Sucker Punch and Insomniac. It looks really, really good. And like I said, that PS4 Pro Special Edition has like Spider-Man. It's kind of a big Spider-Man side. I think it's red too. Not the whole system, but at least the logo part of it or something like that. It looks pretty good.
Are you thinking about getting one then? Since
Well, here's the thing: the whole Pro thing. I really just need to take advantage of it when I get the 4K TV
yeah.
with Ultra HD, which I still don't have because, dude, my
Right,
DLP
yeah.
is still kicking.
Yeah.
I wanted 5 years out of it, and we're going on 10.
Yeah.
And it's a great DLP 61 inch. I remember I changed the DLP chip on it. I just have no reason to upgrade yet. And then I got the big projector, so I do want to because when I go in and see the Ultra HD, but they're getting so cheap now, it's perfect.
yeah,
So whenever
it's
I
about
get
time
one,
where you can because of the price points where it needs to be. Where you want it to be actually.
But I think I do want to get the OLED. Do you have the OLED? Or do you have an LCD?
Mine's in. I'm not sure. Mine's I have a Samsung MU 8500.
Oh,
so
it's
whatever
an
that
LCD.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The OLEDs are getting cheaper. They used to be like $6,000, $3,000,
Yeah,
$2,000.
at least
But
2 or 3
boy,
now.
they look nice.
They
If
are,
you go
they
to what is it, Nebraska Furniture Mart? It's a big furniture store around here. That's like crazy. It's like the Disneyland of furniture stores. You should look it up. Those look pretty ridiculous. So if I do get one, I probably will get away from the whole $600 great TV because
It's not even a furniture store. They sell video games and everything. there.
yeah, they sell sarcophaguses or whatever. They sold this big. They sell things.
Sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi. Excuse me.
yeah, they sell.
He's our fact checker.
Sorry. Yeah, Google says no.
No.
Yeah, but E3. Yeah, who won? So Sony. The big funny thing is the press conference for Sony was kind of weird.
It was super weird.
With the way they set it
started
up.
in like a church or something, and then
Yeah,
they
so
did The Last of Us too.
I think someone nailed this on the head. Really, this shows that this was an E3 that's approximately 2 years before any hardware reveals. This is like the equivalent of E3.
it was the doldrums of E3.
Yeah, this is the equivalent to E3 2012 or something like that, where it's just kind of like
a good way.
the Switch is already out. Nintendo has now recently just kind of said, we release things on our own way. We're not going to do press conferences anymore. I kind of wish they did because what happened was with the Wii, the press conferences were good, but then when they just every year after year showing people on stage drumming Wii stuff or this lady throwing a frisbee to a dog and everybody's looking around like, oh my gosh, this is like grandma's throwing an E3 Expo, that they pulled away. But I think if they did a big a big press conference, I think it'd be pretty cool with the Switch, or at least.
Well, the problem that Nintendo had this year is they've already announced games like Metroid Prime 4
Yeah.
that people were ready to see, right? Like, don't
Yeah, but
announce
it's not
it.
ready to
Well, yeah,
show
don't
anything
announce it.
else.
Yeah, don't announce it 6 months ago if you're not going to show it at E3. It just
Yeah.
seems. I mean, missed opportunity is probably an overused statement, but like if you're going to hold your cards to your chest, just don't even announce it. You
Yeah.
know, like don't tell people. 6 months before E3, like, hey, we're working on Metroid Prime 4, and then not bring it.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah.
you don't know what Nintendo's doing at this point, because it seems like every other week I'm like, they're on their YouTube, it's like a random game that you're like, what the heck?
I actually like the way Nintendo does it. They do.
I don't mind it. I thought I would hate it, but I don't mind it.
Yeah, I at first I was like, oh, that seems kind of like about every 3 months they just self-publish their own video. It's all kind of thought out, and it's always something really cool.
If they really push it, then I get really excited for it, because I'm like, it builds it up. But sometimes they don't build it up enough,
Well,
it sort of gets lost.
It harkens back to when I used to get Nintendo VHS tapes in the mail because I was that cool. For like the N64 and stuff. They used to send you the hype tapes.
Yeah,
hype
tapes. Yeah,
Yeah,
some.
and it's exactly like that. I mean, they don't send them to you in the mail anymore, which would be super cool if they did.
Yeah.
But yeah, you still get every 3 months, every 6 months, or whatever, you get some big hype thing, and I think it's kind of neat. I think the others ought to just do it that way too. But
I don't know, man. I like E3. Like I didn't like it this year, but like I like some of the anticipation before.
Well,
yeah, I do. But
and I mean, I actually thought Microsoft had a good show, and Microsoft has not had a good. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but I don't feel like Microsoft has had very good shows in the last 6, 7, 8 years, something like that.
They didn't poo-poo themselves this time.
Yeah, they didn't shoot themselves in the foot this year.
they
And the
just-
stuff they showed looked pretty solid.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of exclusives coming out, which is kind of the big knock on Xbox, as of late.
Well, that's not the
And-
only knock. The whole like, hey, we got the most powerful system, and boy, they don't give people much of a reason to buy it.
Well, and that's kind of my biggest issue with Xbox right now, because I mentioned this sort of briefly, but I've got a gaming laptop that has a 1060 GeForce in it, and I can plug it into my TV, and I can play anything on Xbox on Steam.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, it's not physical games and all that kind of stuff, but still, and I can get them a lot cheaper. I can
Yeah.
use an Xbox controller. Like, I
Yeah.
can do everything an Xbox One X can do on my laptop, and it's a laptop that I can take to work and do all kinds of other stuff on it. So there is zero reason for me to ever buy an Xbox One X.
Yeah.
There
See,
just
their
isn't
problem
any
is,
reason.
the Xbox, to me, their problem is they really need to sell that if it's a third party, they have the best graphics, so why would you go to PlayStation and do that? Like, really push your graphics, you go to them, because Nintendo has sort of their little niche where it's portable. Xbox really needs to drive it home to where it's like, we're the graphics guys. If you want that Assassin's Creed, it's going to look best on our system. And they just really haven't punched that home to people, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, their first-party stuff, they're not coming up with a new Halo. They're not coming up with a new whatever. Like, last year, it was like Gears of War, and it hasn't been something for 2 years. Here's the thing. They're at least trying. It feels like they're trying.
That Game
Their
Pass is really interesting. Like, their first-party games are on there. And, like, State of Decay 2, I played that. I haven't played a ton, but I probably put in about 15 hours. I wish I'd played more, but it's a really great game, and it's only a $30 game. But they have some alright stuff if they would just buck down and do the dang first parties. Just do it.
They're
But
buying
that's
up,
what people want.
They're buying up
Yeah.
publishers, so there's that, I guess. But, it's kind of like buying friends or something. Like, it's not the best way to go about. Well, see, I always think competition breeds better games, and Sony's kind of winning it, and then so Nintendo also has their. It's just funny how it goes back and forth. PS2 really kicked some butt, and then PS3 got behind and somehow caught up to even the system. Considering the first 3 years they were getting their butt kicked because of the price, and because Xbox came in early, and there were all the delays and the out of touch press conference. It took a while. And then this one, really, PS4, I mean, all the DRM stuff they did, they shot themselves in the foot a lot at the beginning.
Microsoft killed themselves this generation.
And I think they're starting to make up for it a little bit, though, with their cross-platform play with everybody, though. I mean, them and Nintendo, hand in hand. Hey, buddies, we're buddies.
Yeah, they're trying. Some of the Twitter stuff
Sony's
makes me
catching
cringe,
flack right now for that.
Yeah, for that. Now Sony's sort of looking like the grumpy old man.
Which, by the way, last podcast I kind of goofed up on and said that I cross-played with an Xbox, and it's my cousin, but he actually plays on. We were playing Fortnite, and he actually plays on his PC. So you can play PS4 to PC.
Yeah.
But it kind of came in the news like literally a week after we talked about it. Yeah.
Well, like Phil Spencer said it best. Like, they're saying they're trying to play nice, but here's the thing: Microsoft did not play nice with Sony when the roles were reversed, and right now they are behind, and they admit they are behind. They're asking, and they're kind of saying like, "Oh, Sony's not playing ball." But if you were in that position, would you be doing that? And that's the thing that Phil Spencer was asked by Giant Bomb one time. I was looking at some of the E3 like interviews afterward, and that is kind of very true. It's kind
if
of
you're
like
top dog, why would you share? Like, why would you? I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
And it's to someone like us, I guess we should. It's not hurting any of us. At least I don't know, unless you, Shane, if it's hurting you. But like to me, it just doesn't affect me. I'm not a big multiplayer
The thing with
gamer.
between PlayStation, Xbox, and everything else, and I mean everybody has their system of choice, but the exclusives are just so much better on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like especially
especially
if you own a PC, and that's really where Sony's got this thing where they have 13 individual development houses that do sort of their own thing, and they're all responsible for different franchises and all that. Like the way that they're set up right now is just perfect.
Yeah.
And they just make really solid stuff.
Yeah.
And
Finally played that new God of War. Finally.
Oh yeah, what'd you think?
Not to stop you in the middle of your thing. I like it. I've only gotten to play like an hour and a half. I think it's amazing, but I think you said it best because after I played it, I edited or listened to the podcast you did. It's my turn to edit. So you edited this last, and I listened to it. It was you saying like you need to have a few good hour chunks at a time, like probably 4-hour stretches to play that game is good. Because I was getting really into it, but then I was like, gosh, dang it, I have to stop. But I was digging it a lot.
Nice.
Very different,
Yeah,
but
it's a
very
really
good.
cool
Looks good.
game.
Yeah. Looks really good.
Yeah, I ended up getting it for finally a good deal or trade. I forget what the heck I got it for, but some of the smaller games. I don't know if you ever saw Trials for E3. The new Trials game coming out looked really good. Mm-hmm. There's this other video that's making the rounds. I didn't talk to you about it before because I wanted to see if you guys watched it already. It's a VR game, but it's also going to be non-VR. But I think this is going to be amazing. It's from the developer of Rez.
The
Tetris Effect.
Or Effect.
I didn't see that.
It
No.
looks so cool.
Really?
Whoa.
Okay.
It is
Really?
one of the best E3 trailers I've seen in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
There's a video going around of this guy who's an expert at Tetris, which actually Shane and I witnessed, which we didn't know. So they have the Tetris Championships kind of at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Yeah.
But when you're watching it, it just looks like... it looks like a blur because these guys are so good. You play, but anyway, NES Tetris. He's been playing NES Tetris for like 35 years or something, and he basically tries it out in VR. There's no demo out. It's not going to be out till late this year at best. But it looks amazing. The soundtrack looks really good. Even this one song.
Well, that's
they
the
put
thing
out.
about it is people go, oh, Tetris, but it's like Tetris with music, and it's just this real interesting looking thing.
Check it out.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, the whole idea, the Tetris Effect, is a name after. If you start playing this game, all of a sudden you kind of get into a groove, like a runner's high, and then they call this phenomenon when you all of a sudden start to get better, and you can't really explain it. Your mind doesn't know what's going on, as the Tetris Effect. But anyway, check it out. Check out that trailer. It looks really good, and if you've got the VR, it looks great.
There was a Switch game I wanted to play. It was just a little indie. The Black. It was the one we played in Portland. Me and Chris played the Killer Queen. I don't know.
Killer Queen Black.
Killer Queen Black. Okay, it looks awesome, and we played it in the arcade. They have it at the barcade here, down.
Uptown.
Yep. It's a fun game. It's sort of cool. It fits the Switch perfect. Like all of us could play that and just have our little tablets right there and be cool. What else? What else you guys E3 wise?
I don't know. I mean, there's The Last of Us 2. That's another big one. That I'll be playing for sure, and then Red Dead 2 whenever that comes out later this fall.
Yeah.
Cool. Your E3 news, you heard it here last.
Buried at last.
You heard it here last, and not quite as well by guys who obviously aren't in media. You heard it here first. Did I sell it to everybody yet? Yeah.
Dragons! Oh my god, he just ran in. God damn it, Leroy.
All right, so moving on. Before we did kind of our 5 favorite things in our collection, we are now going to talk about our 5 favorite must-have desserts. I'm just kidding. Our 5 favorite things in the world that we want to add to our video game collection. These are things that kind of we think about, keep us up late at night.
You check the eBays late at night and you're
like
about to click it, but then you just don't.
Yeah, not our firstborn, but our secondborn. We could maybe trade. That's kind of just so you kind of know. We'll kind of go round robin. I thought might be interesting. Let us know too, kind of your favorite. We could shout them out next time of kind of like your kind of top 5 things you want. Top 5 lists are kind of crazy. We don't do it very often, but I think this will be good. Let's start out with Michael to the left. What would you like to add to your collection that you don't have? And money's not really an object, but something that like you totally would want. And if you see it, your eyes would drop and your jaw would drop. Go, Michael.
Okay. Well, my first, it's not really a jaw dropper, but it is something that would be like special to me.
Yeah, that's jaw dropper to you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not the most uncommon thing or anything.
You're talking this up so well.
I know.
Great way to start this out.
Okay, so, my thing pretty much to collect for is NES, and I have all of the black box games or black label games except for Clue Land. And so that has just kind of been a thorn in my side. I haven't really seen it at vintage stock or like a local video game store.
Yeah.
Like even just for like what it goes on eBay. I could go on eBay and just buy it, but I just kind of really don't do that.
How much is it?
I think like $20.
Yeah,
it's like 20 or 30 bucks.
It's just I just haven't come across it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had like
good for you. I would have bought it on eBay right now.
$20. I just don't do it, and I've had like
You'll come
50
across-
Mike Tyson punch outs.
If I see Clue Clan at MoGameCon, I'll get you.
You're gonna get it.
Okay.
You're gonna.
Well,
get
I
it
said
in
I'll
Portland.
get it in Portland, but it's just I actually walked around last year at MoGameCon, couldn't find it.
Really?
So yeah. So what's your pick at?
Well, my first one, again, being that Michael and I are we're competitors in the NES collecting market, it seems. But if money were no object and somebody was buying it for me or whatever, Little Samson. I've been on the search for Little Samson forever.
talking
The problem is everybody
fire
knows,
right there. This little Samson, boom.
everybody knows that the problem with Little Samson is it's actually Little Samson is not as rare as everybody says it is. And I'm convinced of that because I have seen 10 copies in the last year or so of the game. The problem is everybody knows that it's worth $1,000 or more.
Yep.
And every time I get my hands on one, I'm like, how much you want for it? And they're like $1,200. And I'm like, put it back.
Yep.
You know? And that's the problem with Little Samson. So if money were no object or somebody was going to buy it for me, like that is the most expensive NES game that I don't have, minus Stadium Events, which doesn't count. I said it.
Yep. I'm with you.
That's fine.
I'm with you.
It's
I hear
almost
you.
unrealistic. Yeah.
I'm going, man, Felix the Cat. I want Felix the Cat so bad.
Is this
On
another
on
NES game?
NES?
Yes, another NES game.
You guys are killing me. All our non-NES, it's
man.
what a top fave wants. You each pick an NES game.
This is number 5, man. I'm digging deep. Just wait to
I
this
know you're
list,
fine.
buddy.
I'm in the minority right now. You guys are winning
What do you
the
got
battle.
there,
Yeah,
Mr.
what's the
Benji?
minority report?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, what's the minority report here, Tom Cruise?
You ready? Okay, fine. The Shadow Pinball.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one.
Nice.
So if you guys haven't played this, I got to play it in Portland. I hope it's there again. It's a movie that had Alec Baldwin. Not that great. It's really weird. It's
This
kind
was
of like
before he was yelling at his daughters. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like if Dick Tracy met like some other random early '90s
emo.
movies when they tried to get big was really weird. Like they couldn't do superhero because they thought like Batman, so they went with kind of obscure, more mystery superhero movies. But anyway,
Sure.
The Shadow movie's not great. The pinball is wonderful. I played it one day. The 2 or 3 times I've ever played, it's just great.
Great
And
layout
I
and
would
everything.
But pinballs are a lot of maintenance and everything. I'd want it to be in like perfect shape. And anyway, if we're saying like something I would totally want, I don't want many more pinballs that are realistic, but that would be definitely one I would want to pick up. The Shadow Pinball. If you ever see it anywhere, play that sucker. It's a wonderful pin, as the in folks say. Michael, number 2, what you got, guy?
My next thing is I collect a lot of the like N64 like variants, all the Funtastics and all that, and all the different colored controllers. But there is one. Actually, there's 2 technically that I don't have. One that Shane recently got. But
that?
well, that
That's
Nintendo Power 100.
Save it
Sorry.
for pickups, guys.
Okay.
Don't make me turn this podcast around.
Okay, but
Turn this
the one
podcast
that I
around.
really want is the Donkey Kong yellow controller. And I know it's just goofy. It's
Oh,
just
the one that looks like you put it up your butt?
exactly.
Okay,
Yes,
that
yes,
sounds
with the stands. I
As
know.
opposed to the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got poop stains on it.
They use the bananas.
Okay, whatever.
No, but
Check
I
it
get
out.
what you're saying.
Listeners, let me know if you think it looks.
But it does go for quite a bit of money now. And,
How much? How much?
A couple $100.
I think
right?
at least 100.
Yeah.
I know.
Is that with the sleeve? Is that the
It does
sleeve?
have the sleeve. If
Okay.
you have the sleeve, it goes for even
Yeah,
more.
it was a mail order Nintendo Power thing. I
Exactly,
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I saw one at Vintage Stock like 5-6 years ago, and they were selling it just. I think it was more than the other controllers, but it was like 30.
Yeah, no, that would have been a good deal. I mean, but it's a controller. But
It's a
I
And it's
yeah.
N64.
But I just kind of have them all lined up, and I think it would look real nice.
That would
Kinda right
that'd be
next
cool.
to it,
Yeah, it's a cool little display.
That is cool. Very neat. It's the only one that looks like a fruit. Yeah.
That's fact.
Cool. All right. Let's see. Are we going to jump out of Nintendo from anybody?
Yeah,
Remy?
I'm going
What's
to do
your-
a
All right.
non-Nintendo thing. So I've been
messing
working on
with
my
you
wife
guys.
for a long time to have her let me get one of these, but I really want a 4-slot MVS cabinet, a Neo Geo MVS,
yeah,
like
good.
a big red monster.
Yeah. You've
so-
got a so we're doing radio right now. You've got a Neo Geo T-shirt on.
I
right
do, yeah. It's the Max 300 Mega Pro Spec, which is the startup screen.
now. That's awesome.
on Neo Geos. But yeah, I'd love to have a really nice restored 4-slot Neo Geo arcade machine.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
And
And you didn't have one before, or you did, or
well, I've got a consoleized. I've got a way to play those games on my television because I have a consoleized MVS. But I don't
stand-up
have
arcade,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I really would like to have the actual arcade unit.
Okay.
Like a 4-slot arcade unit. Either that or I kind of want that one because that's the one I remember from my childhood. But they like in Japan they had candy cabs.
Yeah, that's what I'd say. Candy
And
cab?
they're these little short set down like plasticky like really shiny
They look
white
cool, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they are super cool. Those actually look cooler. So I would be really happy to have one of those too, but it's just not the one I played on when I was a kid. So 4-slot MVS, that's what I want.
Nice. All right, that's number 2. It's so funny. What if we had like a multimillionaire listener and he's like making wishes, right? We better pick something. No, I'm just
Make
kidding.
a wish. Come on, baby. I need it.
And then Michael's sitting there. Dang it! I picked an idiot. No. Everybody's picks are great. I'm just literally. I feel
Yeah,
like
I'm trying to be somewhat realistic. I mean, I would say something like the Nintendo PlayStation or something crazy.
I'm just
but,
kidding. Like I said, everybody's picks are their own. I'm just feel like a British guy where I feel like we should razz each other for some of our picks. So feel free to razz me. Shane, number 2. Let's go.
Musha. Easy. I want that Musha. Sega Genesis.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want it boxed,
Sugar.
CIB. Throw that on the shelf and break it out and play it because it looks awesome.
Yeah, Musha is pretty awesome.
it's a
Yeah.
good game.
Yeah. It's expensive game, but it's also a good game.
I have the sequel,
Which-
Robo Aleste.
Okay.
For Sega CD, not as good as Musha.
Really?
Yeah, it's really not. It's a good game, but it's actually not as good as Musha.
I never played it, but I've watched a million playthroughs of it, and it looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's cheaper than Musha. I don't know if it's any more common, just not as many people want it.
Yeah. Mr. Benjamin, what do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna move on to Kiosk Land.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not gonna. This is kind of when I know I'm not gonna. I would really like a PlayStation 3 kiosk.
That's cool. Yeah.
There's not many
That'd be cool.
North American.
They're hard to
ones.
find.
They're hard
They
to
really are. I
find.
never see 'em.
Yeah, they're hard to find. I would take any form of any kind of PS3 kiosk. I can never find them here. Sometimes you'll find them north, but we did not get the good one. The good ones were in Europe and
Yeah.
in Australia.
Very
A
much
buddy of
so,
mine,
yeah.
a collector in Australia, has one. They just look so much better.
Ours are pretty plain
Yeah,
business
ours-
like type, like weird looking, but
Yeah.
they're still cool though.
There's
Yeah.
some that have some cool ones, like I know CJR. He's a collector on YouTube, kind of famous guy. He's got like 2 of them, and he just got them by asking them because he's in Canada, where you can ask people for kiosks, and they'll just give them
They'll
to
just
you.
give them to you, not we have to destroy them.
Yeah. So PS3 kiosks, specifically the ones that are in Australia where they like have the red light and everything, that would be one of my top. I really wish I can have one. Oof. Okay, number 3, Mr. Michael. What is your next one?
Yeah, actually, I had like 2 TurboGrafx games that I've been kind of wanting. One's kind of a really expensive one, and one is a real common one that I just
Sure.
have been wanting.
Sure.
It's Bonks 3.
Nice.
Just because I just picked up recently the first 2, and I really enjoyed them, and kind of want to play the third one. But I
Cool.
think
So you're actually getting into your TurboGrafx.
yeah, I mean, I
Nice.
don't have a ton of games. I just got like 4 or 5 right now, but the ones I've been playing, I've been enjoying.
Great.
And the other one is a game I love playing. I played it as a kid on NES, and I've heard that it's on TurboGrafx, and that's Dragon Spirit. It's actually before I was on the
Oh, is
podcast.
that
I
a
recommended it.
It's
That's
Yeah,
the shooter.
I actually played the turbo version after we did the,
Oh, did you?
the NES version.
It's
Dude,
good.
Yeah, it's
good
good. It is.
game.
It's,
Yes.
it's definitely
You
the
told me
superior
that.
version. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
it's
love
so
the NES
good.
game as
Yep.
a kid.
Yeah,
But,
you'll
so
love the
I wanna
turbo
check this one
version.
out
Oh,
for
so
sure.
good. Yep.
But you just don't see them anywhere. And without
Yep.
going on eBay, it's really tough. So
Yeah, you
hopefully at
don't-
one of these conventions,
Yep.
keep your eye out at MoGameCon for
Yeah.
that one.
All right,
Yep.
number 3, Adam. What is your next kind of wish list want?
Well, I'm going to cheat because it's kind of a three-way tie. It's a pinball. And
Oh, yeah.
I would either want a Mario Brothers pinball, which one of our
Son of
buddies
a bee.
Oh, God.
Son of a
actually
bee.
got a really good deal on one here locally the other day, and I am still a little cheesed off about it.
Yeah.
But that Mario Brother pinball, it's probably not as far as technical pinball awesomeness goes,
Yeah.
but as far as like fitting in my basement and being
Oh, yeah.
in cahoots with
That's
everything
the
else
one,
that's down
yeah.
there, I would love to have that pinball table. So I want that one. I want the one that you have, which is the Ninja Turtles
Yeah.
pinball. And the other one that I really want is Adam's Family. Like if I actually
that's a
add
good one.
another full-size pinball without getting rid of one that I already have, it would be one of those three. And those would probably be the only three I'd buy. Problem with Adam's Family is it costs $1 billion.
Yeah.
Is it really that expensive?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I played it at
a
that.
really good condition when it goes for near
Oh, really?
$10,000.
That-
They're
I played
crazy.
at the barcade all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, HUOs, home use only, as the pins say. I used to get into pins, and pinheads are kind of cool. They're a very elitist kind of group, and they're old school.
Very
like you can
much,
get
yeah.
6-year-old like. It's cool to watch pin
When
tournaments.
Pinhead's got something though, man, they usually have a ton of pin stuff too.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And Twilight Zone as well. And shout outs to like KC Pins. He's a guy that does local tournaments. We should all do that. It's all by Adam's house. I
Yeah,
would do that
yeah.
every week if I could. But Twilight Zone, yeah, the good ones. Circus Voltaire, the real good pins are super expensive. Cool, good pick. Shane, number 3. What you got?
Original Xbox kiosk with the green pipes.
Yes.
That one. I'm not even the biggest
I'm
original
with you.
Xbox fan, but
it has
that
to
thing.
have those big solid green pipes to hold the Xbox
Yeah,
up.
absolutely.
I'm with you
To fight
there.
power,
Gravity.
man. That thing, that's a cool looking kiosk, especially the one because there's another variation to it that doesn't look cool, not cool at all. Like I had a chance to buy it for like $200 or $300, and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
The one with the pipes, super awesome. I really want that.
I agree with you on that one. That one's really, really good. Cool. So now we're getting into some big stuff. I'm going to throw out, here's my one kind of quasi-Nintendo thing. I don't know why I'm putting this in my top 5. It's kind of like the reason why I put this in there is it's the naggy thing I want. I've talked about it many times before. I've gotten rid of it at one point. I want it back, but I'm not going to pay for it. So it is Jack Brothers for the Virtual Boy.
Oh, yeah.
I thought about putting that on the list. Yeah.
Just because I had it once, I've said it many times. I got most of my Virtual Boy collection in the bargain bin at Blockbuster, and I got rid of it for $70 back in 2002 on eBay, which was a
Yeah,
fortune
good.
for a video
Yes,
game
yeah.
back then. Because Little Samson would have been a like $12 game. Like,
Yeah.
that's my biggest wish. Go back in time and search on eBay and clean up and throw up my middle finger and drop the mouse like it's a mic. Say screw you guys and come back in my DeLorean and have a whole game room for. You could make the most amazing game room for like $4,000 back then. That would be like priceless now.
Yeah.
That's like living in the past. Oh yeah, that's what I would want to do. But anyway, Jack Brothers for the Virtual Boy is my pick number 3. Number 4, what you got, Mr. Michael?
Actually, we just talked about it a little bit ago. The NES Sharp TV.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
Good
I'd
pick.
really like to get that. Really tough to find. I think it would just look really cool in my game room.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good pick. Who knows? Maybe
That's interesting to know. I'm part of a Facebook owners group.
Oh, are you?
You actually have to own one or prove that you own one, which is stupid
gotcha.
to be in the group.
Elitist, huh?
Yep.
It's
You
elitist.
guys are elitist.
My point is,
Your
they sell them on
mid-grade
there on
TVs.
occasion.
Oh, do they?
So I
With
the
can,
Nintendo
I can
strap
keep
to
my.
it.
I didn't know that you were really looking for one, but
Well-
but I see them for sale every so often. So
Yeah.
I'll keep you in the loop.
So
I
when
want
you
to stay in the 3 digits.
so I have to ask.
Yeah, no, they're reasonable. I mean,
They're
well,
reasonable.
quote air fingers quote reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
So these TVs, I have to ask him. So if you're in this group and then you sell it, you
Are you
have
out
to
of
get
it?
kicked out of that Facebook group.
I would assume. I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's
There are a
Kick
lot
you
of
into a
there,
fire
there are
pit.
several people in that group that own multiple that have 4 or 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and they
I need
What?
to talk to them.
Yeah.
Boy, a-holes. They sell 4 or 5 and they're like, look at
or
this.
have a couple or whatever. And some people get new ones and like they'll get one that's in better
Upgrade it,
condition.
yeah.
And,
I can see
upgrade it,
that.
and
The
they'll
feet
sell it.
break a
Legs
lot
and
on
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Adam, because we've talked about it so much, in case our listeners don't know, can you give a 20-second what the Sharp TV is.
Yeah, so I have one, and I'm really going to rub it in Michael's face. But it's a Sharp television. It's a 19-inch. It's a high-quality TV for the time that it was made. It's just a CRT, and it has a built-in NES in the bottom part of it. And it across the front it says Game Television. They had their own controllers that are black that are awesome.
What were these used for?
They were used for no. They had two. There's two different models. So there was a model that was used in hotels and certain chains of hotels to basically advertise Nintendo products. But then there was the home version that you could only buy at Kmart and Sears, and only during the Christmas of like 1990 or something. They only sold them for like a month or something before they got discontinued.
It did terrible.
Yeah, well, the thing was like $800,
Yeah.
back in the early 90s. So they just sold like 4 of them. And so they're rare, they're expensive. They have little plastic legs on them. Most of them, or a lot of them, those legs are broken, and so it's hard to find them in good condition. They're just really sought after.
Yeah.
But,
Cool. And Norman Gamingers, your actual Sharp TV is in that video?
yeah. If you go and Google Gaming Historian Sharp NES TV or something to that and find the Gaming Historian's video, that's my Sharp TV that's in that video.
All right, Mr. Shane, what is number 4 for you?
Super Bomberman. SNES, man. That big box with the multi-tap, the Hudson. Oh,
Nice. I forgot that was a big box. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
cool
They
too.
made a variant of a smaller, but the big box is just really cool. And I love Bomberman, and
Yes, you do.
that would be the icing on the cake for my Bomberman stuff.
Nice, man.
Not that I have a ton of it. Or actually, I don't have really much of it all, but that would just be the thing for like the Bomberman.
Nice. For me, I'm going another cabinet. This one I don't talk about much. I had a chance to get this a couple years ago. It is Afterburner, the cabinet, the arcade cab.
Oh, nice.
I love this arcade cab. This is the one I remember as a kid. I loved it. It looks.
I know where one is for sale right now.
Really?
FYI. Yeah, we'll talk after.
Okay. I was when I was doing video game auctions, I was about to get this one, and then all of a sudden, getting the Outrun cab scratched my itch of having like a vehicular cabinet, and I just didn't. And I remember once randomly for $250 or $300, one popped up that was kind of close. It was in Missouri, and someone had it. It looked like a dingy house. And I was like, I should have saved it. It was a little far away. I just, for whatever reason, said, if I want it tomorrow, and I just never got it. But I wish, it's really cool. It's got that big joystick in the middle. It looked like it.
I played it on Genesis, and my brother and I loved it. And we used to go to the mall and go to the arcade and play it there, and it was even better with the whole joystick, feeling like you're in the cockpit
The buttons and everything.
Yeah,
Fire, fire, fire.
Yeah,
man.
there's something about it because you're a kid, right? You're never going to fly in an airplane. But yeah, Afterburner arcade in great shape, of course. That would be my 4. Now we are on to our last one. No particular order, of course. What is your number 5, Mr. Mickey Michael?
You know me, Ben. I'm going to go back to NES, and I have just about all of the Mega Mans complete in the box, but of course I still need number 1 and number 5.
Of course, yes.
Well, they're a couple $100 each, so yeah, they're a little bit tougher to get.
Wait a sec. Complete in box Mega Man 1 is how much?
I don't know. Shane has it.
Yeah, it was running
He's
about
probably
like
looked at-
$350 at one point.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hope to find that in a lot or something.
I
Get
think it's
lucky.
dropped down to about $250, $200.
Wow.
So
But
it's still
and
expensive.
Mega Man 5's right up there too.
Yeah, which is
So-
weird.
Mega
Yeah,
Man
you would
5's
think it'd be
the
6.
most
That would
expensive
be.
one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
loose.
Mega
But
5.
but I think complete in the box, Mega Man 1, because a
Yeah.
lot of those got like more damaged and not.
It's
as
got,
common.
it's got the weird checkerboard.
I don't think
Yeah,
this-
it's got the
too.
old
Yeah.
school checkerboard. I wonder why they did
exactly.
that. That always got me curious.
So yeah, those are 2 things that I'm really wanting.
All right, Adam, what is your last must-have one to pick?
Well, I got skipped last time, so I'm going to give you 2.
Wait, I skipped
Oh,
you?
yeah, you did.
No,
You did.
it's fine.
I
It's
didn't
fine.
realize.
But no big. So one of them is I want a big professional video monitor, a Trinitron.
No,
Oh,
I want
That's
a
thinking outside the box.
I
there.
want a 19 or larger. I have a 14 right now, and I do a lot of my retro gaming on it, and I love that little thing, but it's little.
Yeah.
It has the best picture you can possibly imagine on it, but the problem is when you get up to 19-inch, they start getting near $1,000.
Yeah, they're not worth that, but
Yeah,
they're but
really,
they are.
really
Then they're
pricey.
not.
But
yeah.
if money was no object, I would totally have one of those, or a 25-inch, or a 21-inch, or
That's a
something
good
like
one.
that.
Yeah.
So that, and I mean, when you go up to like 25 inches, they're like a couple of grand, and that's if you can get them shipped to your place without getting them broke by UPS.
So these were mainly like, were they? Now I know I skipped you. I had you talk about the Sharp TV, and my brain thought,
No,
you
that's
talked.
cool.
Are these were mainly in like TV stations?
TV studios, yeah, news
So,
stations.
if
They
you
look
work in a TV
super
station,
clean. Yeah,
give
If
us
you
a
work
call.
at TV, yeah, give us a call. I need one too.
Yeah, a lot of them were at like universities used for academic purposes. They use them in hospitals for video monitors for recording surgeries or laparoscopic procedures.
I'm gonna
endoscopic
l-
stuff, that kind of stuff.
I'm going to look in the basement. We have what's called the graveyard in our basement of our
If
hospital.
they're in there, you need to get them because you could make
Because
some
there's
cash off
stuff
that
down
one.
there that's scary as heck.
Yeah.
And I need to go down. Thank you for saying that. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
if you
figure
can
out a
buy
way to
them
go down
salvaged,
there.
that's the thing. If you can find some warehouse, because a lot of like medical establishments, that kind of thing,
Send 'em some-
they
yeah.
they just
Sick.
take them in their warehouse them somewhere, and then eventually they liquidate. So sometimes you can get them really cheap. It's just they're rare. They're just hard to find, and you can get them on eBay at any point in time. But
but they're super pricey.
but they're really pricey. So. I would like to have one. It's just I had never have come across one that was A, affordable, or B, that was accessible.
Cool. That's your number 4. Now your number 5.
Number 5 is kind of maybe a simple one or maybe a little bit exotic. I'd really like to have an integrated PC engine like Turbo Duo or Turbo Duo R or one of the PC Engine CD systems. I don't have one, but I would like to have I actually have several PC Engine CD games, and I bought them. Well, I bought them just when I found them every now and then, and found them reasonably cheap, and they're really cool, and I'd like to be able to play them. And eventually, I need to buy it. The problem is the systems; they all have back capacitors. And if you buy them that have been
Caps are always
recapped,
bad.
they're again $400 or $500 for one that's in good working condition, that's been refurbished and all that kind of thing. So I just never have pulled the trigger on one. I probably will eventually, but I really like to have one of those just because I think they're cool.
Cool. Shane?
Mine is so it's two things, sort of the same thing. Tron arcade, just
Nice.
iconic. I like the little
I like
games.
playing
I
that
like the
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an awesome cab, but Disc of Tron, the big sit down one. Have you guys ever
haven't
seen
seen
that
that
before?
one,
It's
no.
like it's got a cage around it. It's just a massive piece of arcade, man. It looks awesome, and I love Disc of Tron. They had a Xbox Live version, and they had a really cool stick that you could use on the Xbox version, and in the arcade, it's a spin knob, so it's really awesome and just a really cool looking thing, and I'd love to have that, but very hard to find, and I don't know where you would put it. You'd have to put it in a garage because it would never fit in a basement.
Yeah.
Unless you had triple doors or something. I mean, this thing is heavy and big and wide, but I would love to have it.
Cool. For my last one, this one's talk about heavy, big, and wide. This thing's huge. I could not even have this in my this house now. If we get another house, my brain thinks like I might sell a whole bunch of stuff and get one, but it'd have to be years and years away because right now they're too expensive because they're new. There's not many arcades out right now that are new. Everybody knows I love Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah.
There is a Jurassic Park arcade by Raw Thrills, and Raw Thrills makes a lot of the big showy arcade stuff that's in like a Dave and Buster's. I sat down when I went to Niagara Falls and played this thing. It is so good. It's a like a shooting gallery type game on rails, but it is so fun. You can't play this on any home consoles. It's like its own arcade game. You can kind of choose your branching paths. The art on the arcade thing, I don't know if you get, I'll show you guys afterward, but it basically like, it looks amazing. It's like huge. And
They are enormous.
yeah, the thing,
They're the size of a car.
yeah, it's the size of like, those beds that have like the top, things or whatever, like a bed
headboard,
that has
yeah.
like, headboard and then, like a whatever. They kind of look like something to be in a castle. It's kind of that big, and it has a huge T-Rex on the top, but it is so fun. And like it's a long arcade game too. Like I think like if I anyway, I looked them up and saw like how much can you buy one for like Raw Thrill? They're like $7-8 grand, and they make good money. But like I think in the future, if it ever gets
it'll
down,
drop.
I shouldn't say this out loud, but if it ever gets down to something like I find one that's like $2,000, $2,500, I will sell whatever I need to
get that
get
bad
that
boy.
thing.
Yeah.
I just want that thing so bad. But anyway, that is my number 5. Wish I'd have it. If anybody's got one, puddle
Hey,
around
on
in
your
their
number
closet.
5, don't call me to move that thing. Okay, there you go.
Oh, I know.
It's big enough. You could install a little bathroom on the side of your number 5, and you can take a number 2 in the middle of a match.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Attach a fridge and you can just move in.
Ain't no doubt. That thing
Yeah.
is massive. Yeah.
Well, that was fun, and I like how some of these things we could maybe even pick up this year at the cons. We'll at least see some of them. I know that arcade's not going to be there, but that Tron arcade's probably going to be there. A lot of Afterburner's probably going to be there.
Yep.
I bet most of the stuff we'll at least see, so that's pretty cool. All right, well, moving on. All right, it's that time again for our
Handheld Hollow.
All right, guys, our handheld hollow. This is when we shout out, we give some love to the handhelds, to the things we can put in our pocket. This goes for any game system from the Nintendos all the way up to the Switches, up to the obscures. There's no rules to this one. We just shout out a game that we like and recommend. Could be popular, could not be. Let's go round robin again, just because Michael's to my left, and that's the easiest thing to say. Let's go, Michael, go! Michael, what's your choice?
Yeah, I picked a little puzzle game on the Game Boy called Bubble Ghost.
Yeah.
And what you do is essentially you're just a ghost, and you kind of push this bubble around kind of different stages. And they'll have different things that come out. If you ever play like Marble Madness, it's kind of like that.
Oh, cool.
As if you're like pushing the marble. But you just kind of get to the end of the stage. And I'm not sure exactly how many stages. I've been playing like 15 to 20 of them.
So enemies in it?
It's not really enemies. It's more like, like fire comes out like every like second. You have to get past it. It's more of like a timing thing, or they'll have like...
Oh, will the bubble
can
then
fall.
pop?
Yeah, the bubble pops essentially. I'm sorry.
So it's a big
Yeah.
escort mission.
Essentially, yes. But it's kind of cutesy.
You're not selling
Yeah, that cover art's cool.
Yeah,
I like it,
It's
man.
kind of cutesy, and especially for a Game Boy, where like the actual gameplay, the little bubble kind of has a little face on it, and
It's cutesy. Yeah, cutesy little puzzle game.
Well,
Yeah.
how adorable of you. Great. All right. So, Bubble Ghost for the Game Boy is cheap, do you know?
I think it's like 10 to 15.
Oh, so
it's kind of
mid-range.
mid-range, yeah.
Okay. Adam, what you got for your handheld hollow?
Well, this was super generic, but it's also my favorite handheld game of all time, which is a little game called Tetris.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a cop out. We haven't mentioned Tetris yet.
And you know what's funny? We
And
have picked 100 games now, adding it all up.
Yeah.
100 handheld games. We should be proud of themselves. This is probably right around 100, and now we are picking Tetris.
Because
it's so obvious.
Well, it is obvious, but
Amazing.
and it reminds me. I recently went back and played the actual like Game Boy version of Tetris. Back before EA and all these other people started making all these variants of bull crap with like shadow blocks and telling you where it's going to drop and making it easy on you and all that other kind of stuff. Nothing beats the original Game Boy Tetris.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it really
Yeah.
doesn't. The music's the best. Everything about that is the best. It's simple. It's a great game. And if you haven't played it in a while, you should get addicted again.
Yeah, and get
It's
out
good
your
for you.
link cable and play with a friend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do you need 2 or 1 pack?
I think you need two with that.
yeah.
Yeah. I think
Two
that was
with that
before they
one.
had any sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Great pick.
There are roughly 4 billion copies on the face of the planet too. So.
Every time you buy a
So
Game
not-
Boy, you still get that
not,
game.
not hard to find.
But I will say, I've heard when I go to buy vintage stock, they say like that is probably one of the most requested games all
yeah.
time. Like
Yeah.
Sure.
not just handheld. Like people come in and say they have nostalgia for playing Tetris on the Game Boy. Mm-hmm. All right, Mr. Shane.
Mine's a Nintendo Switch game. It's a download. I'm going to murder the name because I always forget it. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon?
Yep, that's it.
That's right.
Oh, I got it right for once. I've been playing it. I'm on the last stage of it. It's sort of like a Castlevania clone type of deal where you get to pick between 4 different people. They all have different attributes, and one can jump higher. One's got a stronger weapon. One's got better like special moves and stuff. But it's a like 8-bit style. Just
Nice.
great game.
It is a great
it's only
game.
it's only like $10 too.
Yeah.
It's so good. I wish it was actually longer. But I get it. If you have a Switch, pick up that game. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I've been playing it as well. It's really good.
Cool. I have not played that one.
Download only. That's the only downside.
That's the only
I wish
downside.
they had a physical copy.
But with that said, I'm sort of digging digital games on the Switch because I don't have to fumble around the little cartridge and then have my son lose the cartridge because we've lost arms
there
and
we
we've
go.
lost the crummy. What is the name of that?
Your
1-2
son's
switch.
missing an arm? I'm just playing.
1-2 switch. We're missing 1-2 switch.
Oh, darn.
Yeah, I
Actually,
lost-
that's fine.
I know. I was a little happy inside when that happened. That is a horrible
I
game.
haven't really
Tech
downloaded
demo.
any games on the Switch, but do you have issues with space, like downloading it?
No,
not if you
No,
put, not
they're
if you
not.
put a 256 gig card in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
Gotcha,
had any.
gotcha.
I don't have a ton.
Yeah, you
but
can
don't
put
have-
a ton of DLC on it with it. I've got maybe 40 DLC games on mine, and I
Oh,
don't
okay.
even
And you
play
don't
stuff.
have to go super high speed. I remember watching some
Yeah.
stuff about they're like class what, class this, class that, and then when you look at it, like I'll kind of show you the link of what I got, and it's
Yeah, but I just know for like PlayStation, if you download like 5 games,
Yeah,
you spend like
you're
500
done,
gigs,
yeah.
you're done.
Yeah, if you stick the carts, I stick the carts for the big games, the AAAs, that kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I do that, too.
And then, I download I've been playing Celeste, I've been playing Bloodstained.
Yep.
Super Meat
Do
Boy.
all
And
your-
all those games are like a couple hundred megs. I mean, they're not that big.
I think you guys play your Switch way more than me. I want to. I
I
think
play
about
indies
playing
on
it.
my Switch more than anything.
Well, I play
man.
Neo
It's a
Geo on
indie
my
machine.
Switch. There's so many Neo Geo
Yeah.
games on it. I play Neo Geo.
There's
on
good
it.
stuff. I just literally don't play it. I would think about playing it all the time, but again, I right now randomly just don't have a lot of time to play. I love my Switch. I've loved it. When I play it, I have a good time, but I just don't play it very often. But here's a game that when I played, I really liked. This is for the Game Boy Advance, favorite handheld for sure. It is based off a movie, so I'm really selling it. Scorpion King, Sword of Osiris.
Oh, really?
This is based
This
off the
is-
movie. It came out that
The
The
Rock.
Rock did. That was
Oh,
the
yeah.
lead up to The Mummy, which it's good thing his career went up from there because this was not a great movie. Didn't sell well. And I've watched clips from it.
That's the one with
I
the
did
really
not like
bad
it.
CG, isn't it? Whenever
It
he's-
is.
It's a really
you're
bad
I'm thinking of
everything.
Scorpion
It's a really bad
King,
everything.
it's-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Scorpion King.
Yeah, Scorpion King, yeah.
That's this. It's not just bad CG. I was like, it's bad everything: acting, costumes, cinematography,
His hair,
editing.
fake hairs, horrible.
Oh
man,
yeah,
it's so bad.
But anyway, let's talk about the game. The game is wonderful. This is a 2D side-scrolling platformer, action platformer.
Nice.
Great story, great graphics, great music, great action. This is a game that's a $2, $3 game. Even now, like buying on eBay, shipped to your house. Pick up this game if you have the GBA. It is wonderful. Definitely in my top 30 of GBA, and that's saying something. Scorpion King, Sword of Osiris, big buried treasure, I like to say. So anyway, that was our handheld holla. Well, I said we were going to do pickups, but let's save it for episode 34. My bad, guys. I accidentally started to talk about our pickups, and then I didn't record it properly. That's what we're doing. We're amateur hour. It was mainly me that got screwed over because I talked about it, but we'll talk about it next time. I made some great pickups from Rockin' Sports in Warrensburg from the owner, Nolan. He had also some really cool stuff, but we'll talk about it on next episode because I just talked about it without recording, hitting the record button, so that kind of stunk. But we'll talk about our pickups next time. We'll probably start to wrap this up. Great episode, guys. I know that there was one iTunes review. I'll throw that in there. At least we might have had more, but I'll just put this one in. This is from Pabst Oban. Long Lost Friends. This was a 5-star review on iTunes. Really appreciate it. It helps us get seen. We say it a lot. But really, it's also the water cooler stuff, guys. Just if you've got somebody else at work you guys want to talk about and you like this podcast, just word of mouth is what really...
Really
got a lot of our
drives us,
things going these last 18 months or so. So we really appreciate it. But something to talk about when you're having to casually meet some random person. You can at least say, hey, I listen to podcasts. Do you? No, I don't know. Why are you talking to me? And that's usually how it ends. But if you get farther,
Throw us in there.
yeah, we like it. So this is titled Long Lost Friends. Man, as kids, we were spoiled. Every kid we knew was a video game buddy. There are so many options. We could be picky. Now we are all middle-aged men with families and responsibilities. Our priorities went from getting 200.6 map completion in Symphony of the Night to changing diapers and cleaning breast pump parts. Wow.
Accurate.
That is very accurate. Yeah. Now that all of our video game buddies have scattered to the four corners of the earth, our relationships have gone underground and online. Video Game Dad scratches the itch of all the displaced video game buddies are around the world and keeping it real. Also, Bidhead1000 sent me. Thank you, Bidhead, for
nice.
Yeah, thank you for finding us through there. And like I said, just word of mouth.
Actually, we have one more that I can interject here. Yeah, so we have one from Chaz Wayne 55. And it's titled Awesome Show. Normal bunch of guys just having fun and talking games. Recommended for all gamers and fathers in general.
Awesome.
Nice. I like it.
Yep. Yeah, thanks, guys. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so, you can find us on Facebook.com/VideoGameDads. Emails at videogamedads@yahoo.com. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys for listening, taking time out of your day. Really appreciate it. I think this is it, guys. Episode 33?
In the books.
In the books.
In the books. Thanks.
Thanks.